All right, welcome everyone. We have another very special guest. This is podcast number 115. The man Froste, also known as Aaron Puka, is in the house. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Jeff. Thank you for having me on your show.
Hey, thanks for coming. I know we were just chatting a bit before. You're young, you're hungry, you're a hard worker, 22 years old, and the pandemic has been very present, basically right after you turn 21. So tell me a bit about that. First of all, how is it to be young? And I don't know if you're single or not, but how is it to be that age and have to be in a pandemic? What is it like?
Honestly, like it sucks. You can't. I just turned 21. I was telling you, like 4 months before the pandemic started, I was looking forward to like going to bars, doing all these cool things with my friends. We had like a big Vegas trip planned out, and all that just kind of got thrown away now. And honestly, it just sucks. Like it feels like I'm wasting the best years of my life stuck at home, not being able to do anything.
But and let me ask, so in terms of that though, with your overall, your day to day, because you stream, you're a big time gamer, and I guess in terms of pandemic life, I would think that your day to day may not be obviously going to bars, having people hanging out and all that, but has your actual like overall kind of workflow and business and what you're doing, has it changed that much? Or because streaming, you can stream though from your house or whatever. So have you found it making you more focused and streaming more, doing more content, or has it been completely disruptive?
Honestly, at first I was always kind of like a introverted person, so I never really like went out much. I did go out event like occasionally, but it was never really like a big part of my life. So when the pandemic first started, the whole quarantine thing, it was like, oh, this is fine. I'm like, this is perfect for me. I'm a Twitch streamer. I stay inside anyways. I can stream all day. But then 4 or 5 months after that, then it came to the point where it's like, holy shit, like it's gonna be like this for a long time. Like the novelty of it kind of wore off a little bit, and I started to miss some of the things that I might have taken for granted before the pandemic started, like meeting up with friends, being able to see family whenever I wanted to, going to bars, all this other stuff. So yeah, at first it was really nice for being a Twitch streamer, viewership skyrocketed, subs, everything, like everything was doing really well, but then it started to affect me like personally, mentally, and it just kind of disrupted everything that I kind of had going on. And now I'm kind of working on getting myself to a place where I'm in a better place mentally so I can continue to grind and reach my goals.
For sure.
Yeah.
And since we're there, let's just talk about that a bit, about sort of mental health and mindset. Because I stream poker. It's a little bit different than gaming. There's a delay. There's some nuances, but ultimately, it is a grind. You're talking to a computer or to a camera for 2, 5, 10, 12 hours. I don't know how long you normally stream, and it can get burnt out. I know a lot of people have got burnt out in poker. I know others, in gaming. And how do you avoid kind of getting burnt out? And do talk to me a little about like mental health, what you've experienced, and also what you kind of have noticed, and have you made some adjustments since you started streaming in that regard?
Yeah, it's mental health in when it comes to like streaming and stuff like that. As a streamer, if I personally feel a little bit guilty, like complaining about my mental health, because during this pandemic, I have a job that I can still do. I have like all these things that other people don't have, and I don't want it to seem or feel like I'm taking them for granted. But when your job is to get online and entertain hundreds of people and like be happy and energetic and entertaining, it's really hard to do that when you're going through the same shit that everyone else is going through during this pandemic. Like it's just like we're all people. It weighs heavy on your head kind of thing, and it's very hard to get on stream and act like you're happy and nothing's really going on and everything's just fine and dandy. But then on the other hand, you also feel like kind of guilty because your audience and community is kind of relying on you to get them through this pandemic. So then when you can't do that, it like just kind of adds up on top of that and just makes everything harder. But I'm kind of working through that right now and just trying to get myself to a place where I'm more comfortable, more happy, and just can continue doing what I love to do. And, I'll be there soon.
Yeah, it's a great point you make, because that's something I think in poker, which you also do stream some, which I
Mhm.
can't wait to talk to you about your poker, how much knowledge and experience you have with that, because it's definitely a nice crossover with gaming. But it is kind of tricky, right? To like play for real money, play for prizes, stream, play a game, do that, and then have people sort of watch. Like you're like trying, exactly you say, you're trying to be happy, upbeat. You want to provide entertainment, but it's sort of like
Yeah.
a fine line. Is that like, should you be streaming? Should you be doing this? And that I got some feedback on that too. And initially I wasn't really sure. This was like maybe 2-3 months in the pandemic. I had a couple people say, hey, maybe you don't want to be playing for big money or like streaming
Mhm.
poker and like, whatever. And then you put out content like, oh, look, so it's just tricky, because it's like part of it. I think though at the same time, what do people want? You want the world to shut down? Should there be no sports? Should there be no entertainment? And then people are just stuck watching Netflix and reruns and going on,
Yeah.
so like I think it actually for a content creator and for a streamer, I think it is actually important, or to keep doing what you're doing and try to put on a good face and provide some value and entertainment for people. So yeah, I'm aligned, and I see the sort of conundrum there. And tell me give us a little background on yourself. So you're 22. You grew up. Your Albanian background. When did you come, or were you born in the U.S. or did you come to the U.S.?
Um,
How did you get into streaming?
it was it's kind of like complicated, kind of a long story really, but to keep it short, basically I was my dad is from Kosovo, my mom's from Albania, and they had me when they moved to Germany, and then we moved back to Albania when I was like 1 or 2 years old, and then they left Albania to go to America. My brother and I stayed in Albania because we didn't have like, I don't know, like the whole immigration thing to go to America. So we grew up with our grandparents, and then when I was about 8.5, 9 years old, my brother and I finally came to America, and that's pretty much it. And then when I was about 18, and I think I was a freshman in college, I started streaming, and my sophomore year of college, streaming was picking up like really fast. It became like a really decent source of income for at least for somebody my age. So I said, fuck it, I'm dropping out, gonna pursue streaming full time, and then yeah, that's kind of it. Now we're here.
And when did you get your first kind of break, and how did you get into it? Because the first steps are always the hardest, especially
Hmm.
with streaming. You see people doing it, you realize, all right, I need a camera, I need a mic, I need to learn
Yeah.
OBS. Were you already talented at a game, or did you just say like, I'm gonna learn
Um,
games?
it was one of those things where pretty much my entire life growing up, since I was like as young as I could remember, I always played video games. I loved playing video games, and I was really into Call of Duty when I was a teenager, like competitive Call of Duty and stuff. I would play like wager matches, game battles matches. You probably have no idea like what those are, but just competitive Call of Duty, like, trying to become a professional Call of Duty player. And then I did that for about 3 or 4 years. And during that time, I also had a Twitter account where I would just kind of post like memes, just like funny stuff, wild stuff, just anything like that. And I kind of grew like a little bit of a following during that, and everyone always told me like, "Oh man, you should stream. Like, you'd be a good streamer. I'd love to watch you stream. Like this and that." And I couldn't do it at the time because I didn't have a good computer. I didn't have the money for a good computer. But then I ran into a little bit of money, bought a computer, and I said, "Fuck it. I'll turn on the stream, see how it goes." First stream, I think there was maybe like 7, 10 people in there, and we just had a good time playing video games, talking, and I like I kind of fell in love with it. I just like it was a lot of fun, and then I just kept doing it, and slowly it kept growing and growing. But yeah.
That's awesome. And how fast was it though? Was it like a month in, you were like, holy shit, like I can do this for real? Or was there a point where like was there a moment you went viral? I see the Spider-Man clip, which my dad actually sent me some notes, and this is
Mhm.
like I watched the clip, where it's pretty crazy. And you got a ton of views. And did you have a moment like that? Because obviously this was not long ago, so you already were established. But
Yeah.
had something that really jarred you up, or a big host, or something?
Um. Honestly, for me, one thing I'll always be grateful about is that my rise in Twitch, it's always kind of been slow and gradual. And when I first started, like I said, it was around like the 5 to 15 viewer kind of mark, and then there wasn't really any big moment or anything like that. But as soon as like the community that I built on Twitter, when they started seeing me like take Twitch seriously, because the first couple streams it was just like, oh, that's cool, like he's streaming this and that, like, you know, nobody really took it that seriously. Even I didn't take it that seriously, but as I kept doing it like every day for, you know, weeks and weeks and stuff, more people started to be more supportive and more people tuned into the stream, and it just kind of like gradually like, you know, just gone up since then. With streaming, one thing I've noticed is that the way you grow, it's like it's consistent, it's stagnant for a while, but then something happens where it's either it's like a big event or, you know, something not that big but still like kind of gets your name out there, people get excited about it, stuff like that. And then like my first big, like, I wouldn't say break, but like my first big experience with like rapid growth like that is actually when I took a month off to go back to Albania to visit my family and my grandma and all the people over there. And I was freaking out because I was maybe like 3-4 months into my like streaming career. And I was like, oh man, if I take a month-long break right now, it's just gonna like kill everything. Like no one's gonna care about me when I come back, this and that. And like I was freaking out the whole time. But then when I came back, like when I took this break, I was maybe getting like 50, 60 viewers. And then I come back and all of a sudden this like stream has like 150 viewers now. And it's like, holy shit, like this is, I did not expect this at the least. I thought there was going to be like maybe 5 people that tuned in here. But then, yeah, after that, I started averaging about like 100-ish viewers. And then I applied for partner, and well, I got denied the first time I applied for partner, but I got it the second time. And that was a pretty big moment for me.
That's
yeah.
Yeah, I mean that, and that's also part of it, right? It's like it does. I don't want to say the word trap, but sometimes it feels like that because Twitch is so predicated on consistency. People want to know. There's so many streamers now, so many talented people out there that have shows. Like people that they want to come in and watch. They want to connect with someone, talk with someone, and sort of be there. If you just disappear, or you're not doing, you know, X schedule.
Yeah,
it can easily kind of break up. So that's interesting that you took a break and then went from there. And what was your peak streaming hours like? Because like what was the most you streamed 5, 6, 7 days a week? Like what was
back when I first started, like the first year I was streaming, I was doing like pretty much every single day, like at least 4 hours, 4 to 8 hours. I think I used to stream like 130, 100 something hours per month kind of thing.
Okay.
Ever since then though, it's kind of slowed down a lot just because I've been dealing with a lot of things personally, and there's been a lot of things that have made it a lot harder to stream for that long, for that amount of time. But, you know, I'm hoping to get to a place where I can go back to that just kind of grind mode and just focus on my stream and just, you know, try to grow it as much as I can and just, you know, continue doing what I love.
That's awesome. Well, again, I want to mention, guys, if you want to ask a question for Frosty right here, you can go to my pinned tweet. There's a $55 ticket giveaway. We're going to talk about poker here in a second, and that is a courtesy of Party Poker. We're going to give a ticket away today, so that's there. And again, we can jump over here, and here's the man right here. So tell me, Frosty, first of all, what does this mean? Where did this come up?
Okay, this is.
And what's this picture with Steph Curry? What's going on here?
The header, it was just kind of a meme that someone made. I don't know, there was like a video of me, like, you know, one of those like basketball mini games where it's like you shoot the ball and there's like the net that brings it down.
Yes.
Yeah, so we were at this house and they had one of those, and my friend Avalanche recorded a video of me like shooting hoops, and we were kind of drunk and just messing around and stuff, and then someone took a screenshot from that video and made that header, and I don't know, I just kind of made it my header because it's funny.
That's cool. The 100 Thieves up there on the, you know, on the whole thing. It looks
yeah, I had to.
It's
in my contract requirement to put like 100 Thieves and the sponsors and stuff on there, and they made me a header, and I was like, I'm not using that header. I'm keeping my header. I'll just add 100 Thieves and stuff to it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You had to do Curry. Did Curry ever message you about that? You know?
No, he's too ashamed to talk about it. Ever since he happened, he hasn't been the same, you know.
I'll clarify with him if he's
wait, he follows you? What?
I was just saying I'll have to clear it up if we hear about this, you know. We're gonna
set up a 1v1 between me and him. You can stream it.
I'll see. He likes poker. Maybe I'll get a 1-on-1 in poker.
Does he really?
Yeah, he plays. I met him at the Derby a few, like maybe 2014 or something, and then he plays, man. He does like a lot. I mean, listen, a lot of those in the NBA, people you got to realize like this is what they do. They just gamble, whether it's poker, like
True.
whatever on a plane. True. It's like they mess around. There's some pretty crazy gambling stories out there.
I believe it.
Yeah. So, all right, tell me, Frosty. What is Frosty?
Okay, honestly, my first name, like online name that I made, because this happens in poker too, where like people don't really use their like real names. They kind of like use, you know, like nicknames and gamer tags, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So basically that's how it is in the whole gaming world. Nobody uses their real name unless they're like big famous, you know. But my first name that my brothers and I came up with, we were like 10 years old. So our first name was Super Beastly 9697, and I kind of kept that name going until like 13, 14. And then I was on a Call of Duty team, just me and a couple friends. And they were like telling me like, bro, that name is dog shit. You got to change that and come up with a new one. And like, I agreed with them. I just didn't know what to make or what to change it to. And then, you know, I just got into Wendy's that day, and I was eating my Wendy's while I was on a call with them. And to my right, I had a Frosty. And I was like, that's a pretty cool name. And then I just kind of took it. And then I changed the Y to an E because I didn't want to get sued. So that's where Frosty came from.
I like the name. The name's very important. It is. It's good to have a nice, whatever, you know, you got to have a good, you can't have, like you think of like the big streamers. No one's got like a terrible name really, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Kind of catchy and fun. So very cool. So we cleared that up. And then tell me about 100 Thieves here. Because I've invested in the esports in a team called Clash, QLASH. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but esports has gotten huge. And at 100 Thieves, Dan Gilbert, I believe, is involved. Do you know Josh Luber by any chance? Does that name ring a bell to you? With StockX, he was the founder, CEO of StockX.
Josh, yes.
Yeah. So I become friendly with him. He was actually on my podcast, and I've gotten pretty crazy invested in sports cards. I don't know if you're seeing that craze with
sports cards.
Yeah, like you know, old like you didn't.
Yeah, okay,
like basketball cards, baseball cards.
Yeah.
So like Dan Gilbert and him were the founder of StockX, and then I knew that 100 Thieves was their esports team, and I actually met Dan Gilbert at a summit in LA like 4 years ago, and we were talking about a business concept, and then I heard about 100 Thieves and they made this and all that. So I'm trying to understand what this, and Drake, I believe, is involved.
Yeah.
So how does, like, we got to spend a lot of time on esports and poker, but what is going on with this? I mean, this is a mainstream, how to make billions in esports. The New York Times article, 100 Thieves is up here. You got major names in it. I mean, it's kind of a wild world, right? Like, what's going on? How did you connected with 100 Thieves, and tell me a little about what this means? Because I know Nadeshot is like he's like semi-retired or used to be a big streamer. Now he's like more in the business side. If that's right. What's your relationship? How does 100 Thieves work? Break it down.
Okay, so basically, how I was saying that I was into competitive Call of Duty and stuff way back in the day. Nadeshot, he was a professional Call of Duty player, and he was on one of the biggest teams at the time, Optic. And I was just a really big fan of him. Like, I loved watching his streams, his YouTube videos. Like, that's kind of how I got into the gaming community, through his streams and YouTube videos and stuff like that. That's how I met most of my friends that I currently have now. That's how, you know, that's why I'm here. Like, I'm here because of that. And I've always like been a fan of Nadeshot, and it's kind of one of those things where like he's seen me like on his tweets and his streams and stuff like that. So he like sort of kind of knew me. We kind of had like a relationship like that. And then it was once, and then we started this group called, you know, The Mob, which is me and 3 of my friends at the time. And they were also in like the same boat as me, where like they were fans of Nadeshot, and like Nadeshot knew them,
right? Sort
of thing. Not as like friends or anything like that, but just like, I don't really know how to explain it. I guess we just kind of like knew of our existence, and he always like liked us. He thought we were funny and stuff like that. And then once he saw that we started streaming ourselves and that we were trying to become content creators, you know, he decided to like help us out. He picked us up for 100 Thieves, and then that's just how it's been since then.
And how, so can you give me a bit of an idea on how big is 100 Thieves and how many different games, and what do you stream specifically on Call of Duty or a certain game, or are you sort of just like, because that's what esports basically is, right? A lot of these big names, they've got like teams in different games. So what is that?
Yeah,
How does that work?
100 Thieves is definitely one of the biggest like esports organizations out right now, and like it's kind of incredible when you think about it because they've only been around for like 3 years now, whereas these other like orgs like FaZe, Cloud9, all these other like things, they've been around for easily over a decade. So 100 Thieves is like making crazy strides in the whole esports scene. But yeah, I believe they have a Valorant team, which is doing really well. They have a League of Legends team, and like they're into a bunch of different esports. And they just joined the Call of Duty League, so that's gonna be hyped to watch. But me personally, I'm interested in esports and I keep up with it, but I personally have nothing to do with esports myself. Like I don't play any games competitively or anything like that. I'm more of a content creator where I just play games for fun and I don't really have like a main game. I just kind of, do what I enjoy on stream and then yeah.
But so like how, so here, below I see the studio here, they're playing on the poker table, Uno. Like, are you actively on meetings? Are you involved? Like, have you been to this headquarters here? Like,
Yeah, that's the 100 Thieves compound. We were playing a intense game of Uno with like $500,000 on the line during that. And but yeah, the compound is more of like where the behind the scenes like business stuff happens, like where all the employees go to work and stuff like that. Content creators, we go there and we have to shoot videos and things like that, but besides that, it's kind of like
I
a
mean, you get to go shoot videos. You don't have to. That's fun, man. You're
well,
doing
okay, I might have phrased that wrong, but you know what I mean. Like we don't really go there often, maybe like once every couple weeks or so to film a video or something like that. But yeah, it's
very, very cool. And what do your parents think? Because like in poker, a lot of my guests have been poker. Gaming similar but a little different. Poker, you're risking money, and it's whatever. For gaming, you're streaming a game. There's not really like you can really lose as much, right? So it's like kind of more just upside. But what did your parents and family members, friends think when you're like, hey, I'm quitting? You said where did you go to school? You went to school in California?
no, I went to school in Chicago.
So you go to school in Chicago. You're in college, making the parents proud. Everyone's happy. And they'll say, hey, mom, I'm quitting and I'm going to be a professional streamer. Like, what was that reaction? How did that go?
Okay, well, you got to understand that my parents, they're immigrants. I come from a Muslim family where it's very strict, and I was always meant to be like their goals for me, their dreams for me was to go to medical school and become a doctor and everything like that. So my whole life, that's kind of what it was building up to, and I was on my way to doing that. So when I told them that I wanted to drop out and play video games for a living and do live streaming for a living, they weren't too happy about it at first. Like I waited until I was a partner on Twitch and until I was making enough money where I could fully support myself like on my own, because I knew when I told them it was either gonna be like one of two things. They were either gonna accept it or learn to accept it, or they were gonna kick me out. So I was like kind of prepared for that. And then I just kind of told them, my dad, he was a little disappointed, but he kind of understood the whole like make your own path kind of thing. My mom, she was a little less understanding, but eventually, like they came around, they saw like the money I was making, they saw how much I enjoyed doing it, and like they're okay with it now. Like now they're fully supportive. Now they see like what it can lead to, what it can grow to, and things like that. And they like my parents are renovating the basement downstairs of their house and making it like a giant streaming room for me so when I go back to visit them, I can still like stream and do everything there. So, like I said, they're fully supportive now. It's amazing.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's I got the same thing built at my parents' house as well, even though it's complicated for poker. Yeah, we were talking before how it's going to be legal in Michigan now. It's where I grew up.
Yeah.
And it's a crazy that you can bet sports now legally at a federal level. Daily fantasy is legal, but
Wait, like in Michigan poker right now, really?
No, DFS is. I'm saying daily fantasy, but legal poker just passed the bill in the last year, and then on Friday it's
Okay.
open.
Okay.
So, but in New Jersey's legal, Nevada they have WSOP, but it's complicated. The poker thing is very complicated because of Black Friday. This was April 15th, tax day, 2011, known as Black Friday in the poker world. That's when they just turned it off, like Full Tilt, Poker Stars, all the sites, and you couldn't play in the U.S. So basically, if you were playing, you had to either relocate or you could get set up. So, like for example, when that happened, I got set up in Canada, right over the border of Michigan and Detroit and Windsor. I got an address, got a place leased, got a bank account set up, and then I set up my accounts. But then if I was in the States, I'm not allowed to play. And then if I'm ever in like Mexico, even though I set up in Canada, if I'm in UK, Mexico, Brazil, or wherever, I'm allowed to play. I just like can't be in the US and play. And some people VPN and do that, but a lot of sites will close your money. You're not.
I've tried that. It doesn't really work that well.
Not a good idea. So yeah, let's segue into poker a bit. I see you play some. Tell me your experience and your level of play, because I saw actually I could play a clip here. I'll just mute it, let you kind of talk. But tell me when did you start streaming poker? And your poker ability.
I started playing poker when the pandemic first started, like back in, let me see, like March, I believe. Me and my friends, we just sit in Discord, and at first we started on Prominence Poker, which is kind of fun, and like none of us had any idea what we were doing or anything like that. And then we started playing on Poker Now, which is a lot better. And over time, I just kind of like, I didn't really study or like try to get better or anything like that. It just kind of happened from just playing pretty much every day, all night with my friends. And, eventually we all started getting better and better and better. And I started getting really good. And then I found out that there's a lot more to poker than I originally thought there was, and that you can even study poker to get better at it.
Oh yeah,
which is like
a wild game, man.
Yeah, like when you first get into poker, it seems very basic. Like it seems really easy, and then as you get better at it and learn more about it, you realize like, holy shit, this game, like you need like a PhD. Oh, my voice is cracked, but you need like a PhD to like be a pro in this game. And that's when I started to get like really good. I wouldn't say really good, but like really good compared to where I was a month ago or so with poker. And then I found out about tournaments, because for the longest time I was doing like cash games for the first like 6-7 months, and I was doing really well in those. I was making like good money playing cash games, but honestly I just kind of found them boring, because like, especially on like ACR or Ignition Casino, like the lower stakes, like the 1-2, the 2-4 kind of thing, they're very soft. People play them very straightforward, and if you have like a little patience and kind of what you're doing, like it's very easy to make money on those, in my opinion. But they just got like incredibly boring. I like it. Like I don't play poker to try to like make money. I just genuinely like love playing poker. I love the gambling aspect of it. I do, right. But I also love the aspect of like outplaying your opponent and winning based off like skill and not just luck kind of thing.
Well, and in poker, it makes a lot of sense. The majority of streamers almost all stream tournaments, because there is a start and a finish. There's a way to keep score. It's sort of like doing, what's the game Ninja plays, the main one, Fortnite. Like there's it's like a same thing. It's like there's this many people, and what place you get, you see how you resolve. Cash game is just kind of like, all right, reload. I win $400. Exactly. I win $800. I lose $700. Like there's not really like a story or
exactly. Yes.
It's not that big prize, so it's kind of why it makes sense. Not to mention tournaments a lot more skill. Well, it's a lot deeper game, because like the stack size, you've got 100 big blinds, now you got 30 blinds. This guy in the small blinds got this stack. This guy's got that stack. Cash games, it's kind of everyone's sort of deep, usually around the same. But tournaments, there's a lot of different varying situations, and it's very complex. I mean, talk about like backgammon, chess, these type of games. Like poker's on that level, and a lot of people hear about poker, they're going to be like, it's all luck or whatever. But like you start learning position and bet sizings and whatever, it's crazy. And then there's PLO, and there's 4 cards versus 2. It's a beautiful game. So that's amazing. And what do you enjoy streaming the most nowadays?
Right now I'm just kind of taking a break from streaming until I get back home. It's sometime in the next week or so. But I've personally been really enjoying streaming poker. Like at first I tried not to stream poker, because whenever I played poker on stream, I think I just like let the nerves get to me, and the fact that like I wasn't really that confident in my skills, so
Right.
I'd always be like second guessing myself like mid hand while I'm on stream, and then that would just make me play a lot worse. And then, but now I'm at a point where, you know, I've been practicing, I've been studying, and I'm fairly confident in my game. I've been having a lot of like I've been running very bad the last like month. I'm not even gonna lie. Like not I don't think I've been playing bad. I think I've just been getting a little bit unlucky, which is I don't know, maybe that's just something that people that play bad say, but you know, I feel like I'm getting my money in good, like I'm ahead pre-flop kind of thing, and then, you know, the river, you know how it goes.
Listen, I'm a part-time agent. What do I need to do? Do we need to get you a poker sponsorship, party poker?
I mean,
what are you looking for? What's going on? Is that against your 100 Thieves? Like what?
Oh no, not at all. I mean, the poker sponsor, that'd be pretty nice. I mean, I don't really know who I'd be sponsored by because I live in California and you can't really play much when you're in California. But
yeah,
you know,
we'll talk, man. Yeah. I got. You know, we'll talk. I think I love that you're just like diving in and in terms of study, have you done anything? Any courses? Do you have any pros that you talk with? Some strategy?
I don't really like that's the whole thing. I'm just getting into like the whole poker community on Twitch and Twitter and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so I don't really like know any friends that are like or like have any friends that are like poker pros or really good at poker or anything like that. But I bought Jonathan Little's like poker coaching thing, and that's honestly like been the biggest helper I've had like in this last month. And then I've also been talking to BBZ, and we're gonna set something up where I'll be like getting coaching from him. So I feel like that's going to help me a lot.
That's awesome. Yeah. And actually, I know both those, Jonathan Little and Jordan Drummond, both been on my podcast, good buddies of mine, and know their stuff. And there's so much content out there, honestly. Like there's, if you, any of the names you mentioned, there's a lot of other stuff. If you really put the time in, dive in and go through sort of like a curriculum of someone who knows what they're talking about, you can just have a big advantage over the majority.
No, for sure.
So for sure. That's cool. How do you, so if you said, let's just take when you get back stream, let's start saying for 2021, you got 100% pie. What is your streaming going to look like in terms of how would you break down what percent are you streaming poker versus what games? Give me like the kind of your pie chart.
My stream, I've always tried to incorporate a lot of things. I don't like just like sticking to one thing because I feel like doing that kind of gets you stuck in a like based on how well that thing does and not how good your content is. So when I get back to it, I'm going to be streaming a lot more poker than I did in the past, but I'm also going to be doing a lot of things, whether it's playing video games or just chatting and stuff like that. But I'd say it's going to be around 50-60% poker and then 40% like other things, you know?
Okay, that's pretty strong. That's a lot.
That's a lot of poker. Like I've never done that before. Like I've never done like where half my streams or half of my streams are like just one thing, whether it's poker or something like that. But I'm really excited to play it. Like it's what I love to do. It's what I love playing right now, and I want to share that with my audience, my viewers, my friends. You know, just have a good time.
Awesome. And how many tables do you like to play when you stream generally?
When I stream, I try not to do too many. Like I think 4 max, because, you know, there's a lot of distractions, whether it's like the chat or alerts and stuff like that. So I don't want to get too overwhelmed. But off stream, I like to play around like 6 to 7. That's like where I feel comfortable. Like playing.
So you're in there. You're in the matrix. That's serious. That's like that takes a lot of thought and effort. I mean, I'm sure gaming helps you, right? To be able to stream.
Yeah, no, for sure.
How to do multitasking and see a lot of stuff, because 7 tables is a lot. I feel like 4 is to stream on Twitch is a lot. How do you I got to get this perspective as a gamer with the delay, because you know, I've never played. I like FIFA. That'd be, I know Castro, you know, I love like his energy and his stream. Like that would be maybe a game I would stream, because I played through college soccer and I love it. But
yeah,
you know, the no delay seems so obvious, right? But like the poker with the delay, how do you feel about that? Because like I just feel like whenever I talk to gamers or when they've done some crossover into poker and done some promotional stuff, like it's like, I don't like the delay, you know, a 4-6 minute delay. It's kind of tough to like keep a chat going with your audience and then be on delay, because you like talk to someone and then they have to wait to hear you, and then you like follow up again. You can lose the combos. How do you feel about that?
I'm personally not a fan of delays at all. Like it's that's one thing that I feel like might keep me from streaming poker
Right.
all the time is because I know if I play in a big tournament that I'm gonna have to have a delay. But if it's, like if I'm just playing in these like normal tournaments and stuff like that, then I'll just take the risk of getting stream sniped. It is what it is. Like I'm not gonna sacrifice my stream enjoying what they're watching out of like the fear of like maybe getting stream sniped in a tournament. Because the way I think about it is there's 500 people entering a tournament. Like I'm not a big streamer or anything like that. I'm not like a big person in the poker community. What are the chances that someone who knows me, knows my stream, knows I'm live, ends up on the same table as me, kind of thing?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you'd be surprised, I think. But the one thing I would suggest, though, you could do to really limit that and help with that is a whole cover card. Have you seen that? Are you familiar with that?
No. What is
So
that?
basically, I've done this before. It's a bit of a tricky one, but like if you're gonna do that and not put delay, you should definitely have this. So you have the option. It's basically just like a little button you put on your OBS, and you would make a little, your logo, Frosty, whatever you put. So like covers on the screen. So like you could literally be live and you could actually cover your 2 cards, but you could like see the flop. You could talk about stuff.
Yeah.
You could also bluff and stuff too, and be like, oh, man, it's like, well, in real time, like, this is a tough spot or whatever. You can just kind of like sometimes, and then after you could hit replay and just show the hands, or you could sometimes show the table, or when you fold, you just show. Actually though, from an ethical standpoint, I think, because I don't do this, but I've done it before. I'm just trying to remember. I mean, you shouldn't really show your hand and be live and not cover, because then you're actually impacting the game. Because
wait, what do you mean?
Some people are going to see your cards. So like, let's say there is someone watching. They know that what your cards are, so they can actually, like, let's say you had ace 4 of offsuit.
Okay.
So now, like, say someone is watching, they're in the hand real time. They see the board has 3 spades.
Yeah.
They're like, the other guy isn't watching, doesn't know
okay.
that.
I didn't even think about it like that. That actually makes a lot of sense.
You can't really stream no delay without whole cards, but you could then show, the replay. But that's what you would want to do.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to figure something out.
It's not that that would be the way I would.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll end up doing, honestly. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's just an idea. All right, well, let's dive in. I definitely want to take some questions. I want to ask about let's see, a few more things. I guess I was gonna say, if you could explain, because this is what I get asked a lot in poker. How does the Twitch versus your 100 Thieves or other sponsorship kind of deals work? Because people ask me and they'll say, hey, like, how much money are you making on Twitch? How does that work? Like, because for me in poker, a lot of the Twitch actually, I've peaked at 3,000 subscribers. I've had 100, like 300 sometimes when I'm off or whatever. But so I'm not making a living from Twitch per se. That's how, for me, I don't know about gamers or you in particular, you can make decent money with Twitch, but then obviously getting a deal with 100 Thieves, some other endorsements, break down kind of the pie chart, and are you making a living from your 100 Thieves sponsorship? Is it your Twitch, or a combination? And what other sources of revenue or things have you been able to leverage with being a gamer?
Yeah. Honestly, the majority of my income does come from Twitch. I'd say like 70% of it comes from Twitch, and then the income I get from 100 Thieves just mostly goes back into like rent and bills, because like I said, I live in Santa Monica and rent here is fucking ridiculous. I don't even want to get into it, but it's insane. And then I've had a few sponsors like occasionally here and there, and the money I get from that, so like it's just nice to have that like extra income coming in. That way all my eggs aren't tied into like the same basket kind of thing. But I've never been a streamer that takes on a lot of sponsors. I'm not really a streamer that sponsors like to work with, I guess. But so yeah, like I said, the majority of my income does come from Twitch. Like I just have a really supportive community, and they know that I don't really take on a lot of sponsors, and a lot of sponsors don't want to work with me. So I guess they're like extra supportive when it comes to that, like using Twitch Prime subs, subbing, like, all that stuff. But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm 22. I've never really cared about making a lot of money before. So as long as I have enough to like have a roof over my head, food on the table, and pay the bills, like I'm set. I don't really need to like make extravagant amounts of money or anything like that to be happy, but yeah, I do good for myself. I feel like I do really good for my age, at least.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what is can you give me a little perspective on like the high and low end of a of like in the esports world? Because different games, right? Like there's different level of games, and what there's money in there's prize money as well, right? Like tournaments, and they give prize money. So what is like if you're a gamer and you're part of 100 Thieves, let's just take that since you're probably more aware. Like what is sort of like obviously in the NFL there's contracts, like you kind of know max contract, min. Like what give me some like parameters, obviously not personally for you.
Yeah.
Like give me like an idea of what could like a big gamer make in a year. I guess it's lucky if you hit a tournament, you can hit some crazy money, right? But let's just take give me a little perspective on economics.
Okay. A lot of the top streamers that you see on Twitch, like Nick Merckx, all these people, Courage AD, the big names, they're easily pulling in more like 8 figures a year, 7-8 figures. Like that's the craziest part about all this. You could make 2,000 a month, or you could make 200,000 a month, just depending on what you do, how big you are, and everything like that. Like me personally, I've never seen that kind of money, but based on how much I make and where I'm at, if I do like a comparison to where I'm like how much I'm making and how much they're making based on the level that they're at, they're making ridiculous amounts of money, like absurd money.
Right. And
like I don't want to go into like specific or anything because that's but
yeah, no, of course I would never. Yeah, people ask me that like, oh yeah, what's your social? What's your how much you make from party, whatever. Like that's obviously very personal. Just kind of getting a range, and I mean, you can see there's a New York Times article here, and it's your team here on the cover. You know these guys?
Yeah. So this is Mako, the guy in the middle, and then that's Avalanche, the guy on the right. We've been friends for like 7 years now, and we have like a streaming group called The Mob. And recently Mako just left. He kind of retired from the whole content creation, like streaming life. And now it's just me, Avalanche, the guy on the right, and another guy, Classified, that wasn't in that picture. And yeah, we're just we're a group of friends. We all live together in this house, and we kind of made content together.
And I mean, because again, you can see like what is your prediction? Because we talk about how to make billions in esports, and it's $1 billion industry for sure already, and it just seems like it's just starting. Do you believe that in 5-10 years it'll be like, oh, who owns 100 Thieves? Who owns Furia? These type of big name Clash, whatever esports teams. Like it won't be because now it's like Dallas Cowboys. You look at these these sports franchises. I think like I want to say the Golden State Warriors were worth like 300 or 400 million. 10 years ago, now they're 4 billion. And do you believe that esports, it'll be like who is owning like in 10-20 years, it's going to be like esports are it's the same equivalent of owning a sports franchise?
No, for sure. Esports is honestly the future of entertainment, in my opinion. I think like you said, right now it's just beginning. Esports have only been around for 20 years max, and 20 years ago it was like just some random LAN event with like 10 people there, and now they're filling out entire like football stadiums of fans for tournaments and stuff like that. And it's just beginning. This is just the start of it. I think in 10 years it's probably going to be as big as like the NBA, the NFL, things like that. And these people, they're going to be making a lot more money than they are now.
It makes sense too, because like if you think about it, with technology now, especially in the pandemic, it's like people are glued to their phones. Kids are coming out. Everyone knows Twitch.
Exactly.
YouTube.
Exactly.
So like, it's just like naturally you're getting. It's like it's already where it is, and now everyone coming in is basically getting filtered through. So it's kind of like it's just gonna keep growing. Like so it just seems to make a lot of sense. Like
the reason I can say that so confidently is because back when I was a kid, back when I was a teenager, playing video games, it was kind of nerdy. Like everyone played video games, but the way I played video games, like that was like, oh wow, what a loser. Like, damn, that guy has no life. But now that level of playing video games, that's mainstream now. Like everyone is playing video games, playing competitive video games, and like it's a normal thing. Like you go up to any 12-year-old and they're probably playing like 10 hours a day on Fortnite or whatever game they play. So those kids are going to eventually grow up. They're going to be into the whole esports thing, and then their kids are going to be into the esports thing, and it's just kind of like a domino effect where it just naturally grows on its own. So yeah, I definitely think it's going to be as big as like the NBA one day.
I agree. Did you ever see that commercial for Sprite where it might have been before your time? It was like a long time ago, but it was like basically it was like I said, it was a shoot. You know, this was before like a long time, maybe 10 years ago or 15. I don't know, but it was like essentially they were playing a video game and they had like a cartoon character. And you know, like the guy celebrates when he wins like a game or NBA, whatever they were playing. And then like this little cartoon character basically was like, "What'd you win?" You know, like what, like you're playing a game, like what'd you win? And then he like twists off the Sprite cap and wins like you know, tickets to something. So it's just kind of like a play on that. And it's kind of like that was always the argument, right? Because like your parents and people, kids, like me, I would grow up, and I mean there's some benefit to video games, right? You stimulate the mind, you're playing, you know, your strategy, you're playing Final Fantasy or you know, Call of Duty, even Grand Theft Auto, games like that where it's like there's you gotta, you know, there is some benefit to it, but like
no, definitely.
It's like, what did you win? And it's kind of like, what are you doing with your time? It's also why Twitch is so brilliant, because someone who's streaming a video game, now you can be like, look, Ma, like I'm building a brand. I'm building something. I'm partnered. I'm doing something. I'm not just playing a game. I'm playing a game that's building a portfolio, that's building my thing. So that's pretty cool. And that didn't used to happen. And now, you know, how do you kind of separate the argument though with parents? And do you think that people maybe are overdoing it? Do you think that, like, cause just like gambling, just like really anything, drinking, drugs, like, you know, marijuana, like, is all right, moderation,
Yeah,
okay, too much, whatever. How do you sort of draw the line though, where video games and kids are playing and watching 10, 12, 14 hours a day though?
I think as a parent, or how I imagine myself as a parent, as long as my kids are doing okay in school and, you know, like they're not letting the rest of their life fall apart, then if they want to play video games, if that's what they want to do in their free time for 8 hours a day, you know, like I can't really tell them not to. Like, if that's what makes them happy, like that's what they should do. Like, as long as they're making sure that other aspects of their life are still, you know, being held together, then, you know, I don't really see an issue in it. So,
and what do you think about The Social Dilemma? Have you seen that?
I haven't. I've been meaning to check it out. I just haven't had the time to like sit there and watch it.
Well, okay. So either way, like, just, I mean, you obviously understand the premise and what the context is. What do you think about though, like screen time, watch time, you know, phones? Even now, I've seen articles shoot up, and it makes perfect sense. The pandemic, kids aren't going outside, kids aren't doing anything. They're just on people are on their phone, on their electronic devices. Now it's like everything: iPads, TV, phone, computer. Like, do you think I mean, is there a problem with that? Like, what do you? What do you think? What are people saying within the community? And it must come up at, you know, like there's talks about our parents and people, you know, talking about this and making like, what is 100 Thieves, or what is sort of like the thesis from the gaming industry and what they say on this?
Believe it or not, it's not something that's ever really talked about in like the whole industry, because it's just something that we all grew up doing. Like, we've all played video games for 8 hours a day, every day. So it just kind of seems normal to us. And so it's not really well talked about. But one thing I've personally noticed myself is that a lot of younger kids just don't seem to have that many social skills, and they're not really good at socializing with other people. And that can come off really badly, especially on the internet, because, you know, you're kind of like being yourself in front of thousands of people, and then if you don't have these social skills, if you don't know how to communicate with people, you end up offending people, or you end up saying something like that's really bad that get you in trouble and things like that. And I don't know, I feel like from a social interaction thing, it's definitely not good that they're spending like all their time playing video games. But at the same time, there's people out there, there's kids out there that they don't really have that many friends in the real world, or they can't access those friends because of the pandemic. So the internet is really their only way of interacting with other people. So it's kind of like a, you know, good and bad thing in a way.
And do they give coaching? Like, do you think the like lines that content creators cross? Like, how do you know if you might go too far with the joke meme on your stream? This is my Ghost of them was in the chat, my lead moderator on my Twitch. He was asking some cool questions and stuff. Like, do they give you coaching on it? Do you have like meetings where like, hey guys, it's good to push the limits, good to have fun, but don't do this, don't do that? Is there some sort of guidelines?
I've always been the kind of streamer that I just kind of say what I want. I make whatever jokes I want. Like I don't go out of my way to try to offend anyone or anything like that. But I say some jokes, some things that, you know, might not look that the best for a sponsor, for a brand or whatever. And I've definitely had a few meetings with 100 Thieves where they've asked me to like not say certain stuff or, you know, tone it down a little bit like that. But I wouldn't really say it's like coaching. Maybe like on the bigger levels, they probably do like coach them into what they can't say like everything specifically. But me myself, I just kind of do say whatever comes up to my head. And, you know, I'm not like, I don't think I have any hate in my heart for anyone out there. So I know that whatever joke I make, it's never gonna like there's never gonna be hate behind it or anything that people could actually get offended by. Like okay, I'll be honest, I do go out of my way to offend people sometimes, but if it's like for stupid stuff, like a hobby they're into or something like that, where it's like nothing really that big. And, you know, it's just kind of funny, like going back and forth with someone over something really dumb like that. And then, you know, just seeing what happens.
Yeah. And tell me about this clip here. You broke Spider-Man. This got kind of viral, 120,000. What happened actually?
Yeah. Okay. So I was just streaming. I was like 5 hours into playing Spider-Man. And then everything just, it just started going haywire. I started turning into random objects. Like, as you can see, I turned into a pile of snow and like the game was still working fine. I just visually like I was all these different things and it was just really funny. I posted on Twitter and just kind of blew up. I think Courage JD retweeted it. That's probably why I kind of blew up like that.
That's
yeah.
That's funny. So and that just a total random glitch never happened again. And
yeah, no. I think they fixed it really shortly after that clip went viral. Like they fixed the glitch and everything. So you know,
very interesting. What are some of your favorite moments on stream or favorite clips or highlights? Is that up there? Or like what are some of the other stuff that's happened that's
honestly that it was a funny moment, but I wouldn't say it's like high up there. There's definitely been a lot more stuff that's happened that I've been more excited about and things like that. I think the first time I got partnered, my like first stream after I got partnered, that was probably, or actually I got partnered while I was live on stream. So that was easily my number one favorite stream of all time. It was like, I'd applied for partner and it's been like a month since I got a response. And then I was streaming one day just like normally. And then a Twitch admin came into my chat and they just started talking, like being friendly and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, so I applied for partner like a month ago and I still like haven't gotten a response. Do you think maybe there's some way you could check on that or something like that? Mm-hmm. And he's like, wait, really? A month? Like that's, you know, like that's a long time to not get a response. Are you sure you haven't gotten one? He was playing like he didn't know what was going on. So he's like, maybe check your email, like your spam folder. Maybe like the email got lost in there or something. And then I was like, I mean, all right, I'll check. But I could have sworn I didn't see anything like yesterday when I looked at it. And then I checked, I see the email, like you've been accepted into the partner program. And I don't know, it was the most hype thing ever. It was the most exciting thing ever. It was just such a good stream. I'll never forget that. That was the best time I've ever had on stream.
That's all. Yeah. And what percent of people do you know get partnered or not? Because, you know, in poker, it's been a long time. I think I got in 2015 and, you know, poker's a pretty new category and they built up. But what percent of people, is it very hard to get partnered? Like, is it, I know there's requirements. You have to stream X amount.
Yeah.
But is that once you hit the parameters, are you just like in partnered gamer, or is there still like hard to get through?
The way it used to work, like 3 years ago, they changed it drastically, the whole partner program. Before that, I think you had to have like 500 viewers average. You have to have like, and there was no affiliate program, so there was no sub button or anything like that. So you could have 500 viewers and not be partnered, and you're not making any money off Twitch. So, but then they decided to change it like 3 years ago, I believe, 4 years ago maybe, where they gave like set parameters, set like numbers that you need to hit. I think it's like 75 viewers average and like a certain amount of time streamed. And the thing is, even if you hit those numbers, like there's still a chance you're gonna get denied unless you like shoot way past those numbers. like my first time when I applied, I think I had like 76 average viewers, and then I met like all the requirements, but I still got denied just because they want to see if you're able to like keep those numbers up for like an extra month or two. And then usually around the second time, they'll probably accept you if the numbers are good. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's like, it's definitely a lot easier. It's not easy, but it's a whole lot easier than it used to be, where you have to get like 500 viewers, you know?
Right. And we have around the same size channel on Twitch.
Yeah.
Do you have goals like you want to hit? Is like a milestone for you 100K? Anything in particular? Anything you're shooting at, or do you just kind of go about it? And
I definitely want to hit 100K. Like I wouldn't say it's like number one priority, because I don't really like care about follower counts and stuff that much.
Right.
My goal for me personally is just to stream more often, to like stream consistently at least 5 times a day, kind of thing like that. And if that brings on growth, great, amazing. If it doesn't, then it's whatever.
And here you say streamer for 100 Thieves, 1/4 of the mob. Tell me about what the mob is exactly.
Okay, yeah. So the mob, I started streaming back in 2018, I think, maybe 2017, sometime around there, like late 17, early 18. And it was going really well for me. I was like the only person in my community at the time that was really like streaming or doing anything.
So everyone was, community, what does that mean?
It's basically, it was a community of people that were all fans of Nadeshot at one point, or competitive Call of Duty. And we kind of met each other through like Twitter and Twitch and stuff like that. And we had our own like sub community underneath the Call of Duty / Nadeshot community. So, it was like that. It was a pretty like tight knit community for a while. And I started streaming. Like I said, I'd grown like a little bit of a following. I think I had like over 10,000 followers on Twitter at the time, which back then, like that was like a crazy number. Like that was an insanely high following for me. And I also had a few other friends that I would play with on stream. Like they always supported my stream and things like that. And then eventually, like I convinced them to start streaming as well, because I saw like the success I was having, and they were also like in a similar spot like me, where they were like big names in the community, and they had all this free time. So I was like, you guys should stream. Like you can make some good money. It's a lot of fun. Like, and then eventually I got 3 of my friends to do it, or 2 of my friends. One of them was already kind of doing it, but we all started streaming. We would all play games together, and we would all, just kind of hang out all day. We were all good friends. And then we decided to make it like an official thing, like an official stream group, I guess, called The Mob, because the old the community was called the Twitch Mob, right? Like the old community that was in. And then we decided to take that and just call ourselves The Mob. And then, now we're here.
That's awesome. So, yeah, quite. And then how did 100 Thieves approach you? You said you kind of knew, was it Nadeshot, or like how did that actually like tied into them?
It was, it's kind of it's a long story, but basically we were on this other organization and we had left it. We had just left it. We were getting a few offers from other organizations. One of them was Optic at the time, Optic was a big org, but they had just like their owner Hex had just sold them to this other company, and they were kind of like in the shitter for a little bit, and we were sort of in talks with them. And then Nadeshot was the one that like we didn't really want to join, because like it wasn't the same Optic that we grew up loving, the ones that we were a fan of, but it was still a big opportunity that we couldn't pass down.
Right.
And then Nadeshot like kind of hit us up, and he's like, don't join Optic, kind of thing. So we took that as, okay, he's either telling us to not join Optic because he thinks we'll get like fucked over in our contract or somehow, right, or because he plans to keep us, like to add us to 100 Thieves. So we just didn't join Optic. Like that's all he told us. We just kind of went off his word, rolled and trusted him on that. Yeah, pretty much. Like we gave up like a huge opportunity just based off like a 1-sentence text kind of thing. And then eventually that worked out. We went to a gaming event, Fort Worth, and we met Nadeshot at a bar, and we talked to him. We like had drinks, we hung out, and he pretty much told us like, yeah, I'm working on like getting you guys on 100 Thieves. And like that was the first time it was ever confirmed, kind of thing. So we were like, that was a huge huge day for us, huge event, and we were just really
when was
ecstatic.
Roughly, was it 19?
Like I'd say early 19. No, probably like late 18. I'd
It's
say.
one of the coolest things I think in poker. You know, looking back, and I would imagine for you being in gaming, like a moment like that, right? Like where you're in college,
Mm-hmm.
you start grinding, you just turn on OBS, you don't have really great equipment, you're just kind of giving it a whirl. You work, you know, you put your head down, you work hard, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know, this guy Nadeshot, who's a major name. You know, you're at a bar at a gaming event, like you just like, man, this is some cool shit. Like this is like a movie situation because like, you know, there's more money. Like I played poker for 20 years. Like really, I mean, I'm 34. Like realistically, like 15. You know, since I was like playing for technically a living. I was, you know, in high school I was just playing. But you know, like looking back, it's like I've traveled the world, go to like these cool places, playing with these cool, interesting people and wild spots, and like, yeah, maybe there's some things I could make potentially some more money or do trading or be in banking or whatever. But like the fact of like being your own boss, world, doing cool stuff with cool people and something you love, like there's really no price you can put on that stuff. And it's just like, you know, you're super young, man. I mean, 22. You know, it's pretty cool. Do you ever think like, man, I don't know if this is what I want to be doing? Like I would, or do you just like, is this just what you love? And
honestly, like, it's how you said it earlier. I could be doing so many other things that I could be making way more money in, like even at my age. If it was about money, I would have gone to med school, became a doctor, all that, and made 6 figures starting off kind of thing. But I just wanted to do something in my life where I was my own boss. I didn't have to answer to anyone. I could work my own hours and everything like that. And that is one of the greatest feelings in the world. Like there's nothing better than being your own boss. It does come with its obstacles and challenges and stuff like that, but when you put all that aside, like it's one of the best things you could do for yourself is having a job where you don't have to answer to anyone. Being on an organization, you do have to answer to some people every now and then, but for the most part, you know, you're still your own boss, you know?
Right. No,
But yeah, I wouldn't trade that for the world, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. No, it makes a lot of sense. What let's actually, I want to dive in here. So we've got, I mean, there's a lot of questions. Probably some people you recognize. I'm sure there's some.
Yeah, I saw a few of them.
Yeah, there's and also again, I think it's kind of like you said with poker, it's different, right? Like you're just kind of learning and seeing there's so much. The same thing like gaming, there's so much to it, so intricate. And actually, let me ask you a question before we take the questions from the live. Again, guys, if you want to retweet, get eligible for that $55 giveaway from Party Poker. We're going to start. We're going to go through that, and I'll do a retweet giveaway here at the end. But what do you do to get better at gaming? Like like how do you practice Call of Duty? Is it literally just putting in reps? Is there like because it's not like raise your edge or you mentioned literally there's not is there like tutorials? Do people put out coaching video strategy for these games? There's interesting business.
Okay, me personally, I'm not good at video games like at all. That's part of the big reason why I even have a following to begin with, is because I was so bad at video games that it was funny for people to like watch me play.
Interesting.
But there's like, it's honestly a lot like poker in terms of getting better. Like there's people like my friend Cryptic No One. He's so bad. He plays all the time and he just like, no matter how much he grinds, he just can't get any better at video games. And that's like, it's like that in poker too. You have people like that just grind all the time and they just don't get better. And yeah, there's like coaching, there's YouTube videos you can watch, like tutorials, tips and tricks. But when it comes down to it, grinding is probably the best way to get better. Just playing insane hours every day, just practicing, just trying to get better. It's just something that comes with time, you know?
There's not like I don't know. I'm trying to think if that would work. There's no like master class. There's no like for a game where guys go through and talk. It's you just kind of got to practice, right? You can't.
Yeah, like poker, it's a game of math, so it's something that like you can. In poker, if you study something, you can study something, and it'll show in your games. Like you'll get better in your games. But with gaming, there's not really like one specific thing you can practice in, or like I guess you could practice your aim. If and that will make you a little bit better. But overall, it's just more about like awareness of the game, map awareness, things like that, and that just comes with grinding. It doesn't like you can't really. It's not something you can study really.
Right.
I mean, like at the pro level, I'm sure like they do like VOD reviews where they study like games and break down what happened, but I'm talking more like amateur trying to get to pro level kind of thing.
So how does that work then? So you're actually like almost you're saying you're not a great at video games, and that's part of what made it. But obviously, you play a lot and you've gotten a lot better, probably, right? I mean, you're pretty like
Yeah. I've definitely gotten better at video games in general. I'm still like not that good just because I don't really put the time in that I used to anymore. But you know, like I just kind of play video games for fun. When I go on stream, I go to have fun. Like, you know, I don't really try that hard when I'm playing and stuff like that. It's just more about having fun with the chat. That's the thing for me. Like, gaming is just like a background thing to do while I'm streaming. Because the whole reason I love streaming is that I can talk to chat and, you know, just that stuff. And then gaming is just kind of like there in the background to keep people intrigued.
to see something. So
Yeah.
like on a 1 to 100 level, I mean, how many different games do you play? Like, are you when you stream games? If it's not like now you're streaming a fair amount of poker actually, but what about like what's your game breakdown of games?
Anything that's just kind of like that my friends are playing at the time, like I'll play as well, I guess. Anything that's sort of like popular that people enjoy watching, if I enjoy playing it, like I'll play it. There's not like if you ask any of my viewers like what my main game is, they'll probably say just chatting because that's what I do most of the time, just like sit there and talk to the chat. But yeah, I don't really have anything that I like play consistently. It's just kind of, you know, games come and go, and that's what I play. I don't know.
Very, very interesting. So you're not like going to tournaments and trying to win prize money. That's
No.
You're on 100 Thieves, you're not part of like a gaming team that's competing for like the tournaments.
Yeah, there's two different aspects of gaming, like the gaming industry. There's like the content creation and entertainment side, and then there's like the esports side. I'm more so on the like entertainment side, but I still keep up with like the esports side just because, you know, it comes to the territory kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting you say that. It's kind of like poker for me. You know, like it's a deep game. I've played a lot of live poker. I've played for many years. I have a son now. I have a family. I do a podcast. I do other stuff. And it's like to actually stay up on the like, you know, the solvers and all the stuff. It's almost like the same thing. There's like two sides in poker. It's like you're either a wizard, like a sorcerer that knows like all the stuff, or you're sort of like content people, you know, play.
Yeah.
Good. You know, like and I've kind of you know, I still work on my game, and I feel very, you know, feel like I could sit at any table and win any time. Like I feel like obviously I know I'm a professional player, but I'm not doing like my time. I enjoy more the content and the stuff than going into like, you know, deep like, oh, I'm gonna 3-bet check raise,
exactly,
quarter pot, like, and that's also not really what people want to see. Like they you know, if you want to learn poker, you go do a course, do something. You want to watch a stream, you want to see like, you want to see chips flying and big prize money.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the kind of poker streamer I hope to become. Like, I don't think I'll ever become good enough at poker where people are watching me simply based on my skill, but I kind of just want to like, because I watched a lot of poker streams and most of them are kind of how you described, where it's just like people are only there for the poker, like they're just breaking down everything, and you know, like it's good. I enjoy watching that, but I know personally I don't think I'll ever become that kind of streamer. So I just like I want to be able to entertain people and make good content while playing poker.
For sure. No, that's awesome. I think that's the right attitude. All right, well, let's dive into some questions here. I think I've learned a lot. We've covered a lot.
Yeah.
I actually saw a lot of questions that were very you know, in line to what I was already going to kind of ask or whatever. So let's if you see anyone you know here, I don't know if it's too small, maybe try to make it a little.
Oh no, it's good. It's good. I can see it.
Try to go through some of these. So let's start out here. Could you give me an example of one in which you found yourself faced with a challenge, and how do you overcome it? So kind of a vague question, but you mentioned you've taken some breaks, right, from streaming. You found like kind of had some inflection points. Is there anything that something really difficult, or like, I don't know if I want to stream anymore, or like just how you push through it?
Yeah. Honestly, it was it's right after we joined 100 Thieves and we moved to Los Angeles in this house together. I I was in a really bad headspace just because it was my first time moving away from my family, and like growing up as an immigrant, all like if you're an immigrant to America, all you have is your immediate family. You don't have like cousins, you don't have your grandparents, you don't have like anything like that.
Right.
It's just your immediate family, and you build like a very special bond with them, like a very close, tight-knit bond together. And leaving that is a very hard thing to do, especially when my brother had been gone for 5 years. He was in Albania for 5 years, and then he had just came back. So it was for the first time in like 5 years that our family was actually like together as one again.
Right.
Now I was the one that was leaving, and that I felt like I felt bad about it. I missed them a lot, and it just like it made me really depressed for a while. And getting over that is like, I don't really know how I got over it. I guess just time. I was at a point where I was like, fuck this. I want to like quit streaming. Like this isn't worth it anymore. I'm just, I don't want to keep doing this if I'm going to be away from family. And I just kind of wanted to like go back to them and just live a normal life. And it was when I went back home for Christmas that year. This was 2019. My brother, he just like, me and him just like we had a few drinks, we talked about everything, and he kind of like motivated me to keep going in a way. So yeah.
That's I like I was mentioning to you before, I grew up in Michigan, and actually I played soccer through college, and one of my good friends was Albanian, and I know how strong family and community
Yeah.
It's a big Albanian community. My wife's Brazilian, same thing. Family's sort of like it's different culturally than America.
Yeah, exactly.
You're 18, you move out of your house, and you're like, all right, I'm on my own, and you see your parents on holidays maybe or whatever. But it's not like that. Like they're in there until you're married.
It's a lot of Albanians grow up in like multi-generational households. Like that's a very common thing over there, and even people that like move to America like still do that. So whenever someone does leave the house at an early age, it's kind of like like what the fuck kind of thing. It's not very normal. It's very, I wouldn't say looked down upon, but
right, unconventional.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very, very cool. All right, we got Craig Leonard, who's a giveaway master. He wins a lot of tickets. He's asking, being known for Sea of Thieves, among other games, do you still have fun at these games, or is it more about the content for the stream? As you play games for a living, does it lose any fun factor for you? Congrats on all your success. I wish you all the best. Do you still love video games, or is
I think he might have me confused with someone else because I've never really played Sea of Thieves. But the question, like, I can't answer that question. It's when you find a game that you love, and then this goes for anything really. When you find something that like you enjoy doing and love doing it, if you're doing it for 8 hours a day every day, it's gonna get old. Like it's gonna get old fairly fast, and it's like that with gaming. Right now, I can't think of a single video game that I'm excited to play. And to be fair, it's been kind of like a dry spell for video games in the last like 3 years or so. There's been a couple like good games that have come out, but for the most part, there hasn't really been a game that's captivated everyone like that much. But yeah, so
yeah. That and what about PS5 though? How has that changed, or the new Xbox or stuff like PS4? Was forever, right? Like that. It took a long time. How much better is the PS5 than PS4?
I got the PS4 about like a week after it came out. First of all, it's impossible to get one. I got one.
5, you mean?
Yeah, PS5. Sorry. It's impossible to go to PS5. I got a PS5 because someone that I knew that's like a coach for an esports team, he accidentally got like a second one shipped to him. So he kind of sold me his second one at like normal price. But yeah, they're going for like 2 times, 3 times resale value right now. Or
what does it cost for one?
Right now, for
what is it like sticker price?
Sticker price, it's I think 400 for the digital one, and then like 500 for the disc version. But resale price easily like 800 to 1,000 plus. So,
wow. And what's cool to have? Do you want to have the virtual or the what's like what do the people prefer?
This is kind of like just a me thing. I've never really liked how gaming is going completely digital, because that just kind of means that like there's a lot of benefits to it. It's a really good thing, but at the end of the day, when you own something digitally, you don't actually own it. You're just being allowed to temporarily rent that thing, you know?
Oh no,
So
don't make me go down crypto. Do we need to talk about Bitcoin?
I mean, we can, but yeah, it's I like to own the things that I pay for, so I'm more of a disc person.
Right.
And but like I can understand why someone wouldn't want to spend $100 extra just to like have a disc version of a game. Like discs are very old school nowadays, I guess.
Right.
So, but yeah, I got my PS5. I played Spider-Man on it, where you saw that clip, and then there wasn't really any other games that I was interested in playing at the time, so I kind of gave my PS5 to someone that needed it a little bit more than me.
Right. That's very nice. That is a so it's an interesting thing. Video games too. Like I just remember playing when I was in high school Grand Theft Auto. Like it was around Grand Theft Auto 3 and then San Andreas and Vice City and like
Oh,
so
those games are amazing.
I played like I don't even know the newest GTA and how good it must be now in terms of graphics and what they're doing. But that was sort of
Yeah.
my game of that. It cost me like half my sophomore year of high school for sure. That
Uh,
was
I
like
was-
right when I got into poker. So I was sort of playing video games some, and then I just found poker. But
yeah.
you know, it's yeah, those games are crazy. What yeah, did you play GTA? Did you go through a
Oh
spell?
yeah, I played I think all the GTAs except the first one. I was playing them at such a young age. It's probably like a very bad thing that I was playing those games so young. But yeah, those are some of the first video games that like I fully got hooked on. San Andreas, Vice City, like all those, and then Skyrim. Skyrim was a really really big game for me. It came out when I was like 12 or 13, and it was the first time I ever like played a game like a degenerate where I was coming home from school, playing until like 3, 4 a.m., waking up at 7 a.m. to go to school, and then just doing that over and over every day for like a whole year.
I
It's
can't tell
still,
you how many times my dad would wake up at 4:44 in the morning and I hear his alarm. I just like skirt into
yeah,
bed. And it
yeah,
was like, oh yeah, like I'd be playing online poker most of the time at that time, like cash games, but and then
yeah.
also like the video games, and I would just hear that alarm and I would just like I would like turn off the thing, it'd still be on. I just like go to the
Yep. I've been there multiple times. Just hear your parents wake up and then just jump into bed, turn the TV off, act like you've been sleeping the whole time.
they come in, give you a kiss, and you're like the fake deal. So yeah, no, that's
Oh, good
we've
times.
all done that, I think, out there. For sure. All right, let's well actually so and PS5 or Xbox and also when you stream, so you're not streaming on the game, right? You're streaming on a computer that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like on Steam or something. What do you use?
No, you just what do you use to stream?
I use OBS for like Streamlabs, I think it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah, yeah. No, I use that too. Streamlabs OBS. That's
But
kind of
so how would you play Grand Theft Auto on there? You would just get it on your computer, you would download the game?
well, yeah, like you can't. Yeah, Grand Theft Auto is like a game. It's available on PC that you can play, but you can stream from your console using like a capture card from Elgato or something,
Yeah.
and then that just kind of like streams the game from your computer to your or from your PlayStation to your computer, and then through Streamlabs you like stream that.
But would you be playing Grand Theft Auto on so if the Elgato capture card from the system, it would be on your computer though? Or would
It
you do it on a TV and then you would no, you'd have I
you
actually
can
remember getting this because I was gonna try to play FIFA and then I never ended up doing it because I was just
it's
like, man, it's just too overwhelming. And I already like stream, with just poker, but
yeah.
so, like I'm trying to understand that process. Like how
It
like
just
how
the way it works is you put a capture card in your computer, just like
yeah,
a graphics card,
yep,
and then you connect your PlayStation to the graphics card. Like
right.
the HDMI, instead of putting it to your monitor, you put it or to your TV or whatever, you put it into the capture card that's in the computer, and then you put another HDMI from the capture card into the monitor you want to play on, and
Mhm.
then it just kind of like shows the game on there, like on your monitor, and your computer is able to capture it.
Right. Okay.
It it's kind of complicated, and yeah, it's a little bit complicated to like set up and everything like that. But once you do it once, it's pretty straightforward.
But so that would be the preference to like instead of streaming straight off your computer, like
If
you
okay,
would
if you can stream off your computer, like if there's a game that's available on PC, then I'd recommend doing that just because PC gaming is honestly better. But yeah, like there's some games that you just have to play on console, and that's just the only way you can really stream it.
Do you know FIFA, which if you can do that or not? Are
Yeah, no, yeah, you can any game you want. Yeah,
you can
it's
do it. Okay.
no, like if you need any help setting that up, like I'd be glad to help you.
Yeah, I'm debating. I just man, poker's so complex and so much stuff. Like I just I just
Yeah,
thinking of like starting a new game is a bit.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it would be good to have a mix up. Okay, well, what about favorite food?
Ooh, my favorite. Okay, it's not really like a food. It's more like it's pomegranates. Like it's not like a just like a normal food that you eat as like a
Yeah,
lunch or dinner or whatever. But
nice.
I just love pomegranates. I could eat like 3 or 4 pomegranates in one sitting. I
It's a
don't know.
nice, it's a nice
It's
snack. I like pomegranate and
yeah.
pomegranate juice.
Like back when I was living with my grandma, whenever I would get sick, we had like this pomegranate tree in our front yard, and whenever I'd get sick, my grandma would like take 3 or 4 down and fill up like a giant bowl of pomegranate seeds, and I just eat them the whole time while laying in bed. It was,
How
it
many
was.
fake six were there? There must have been a few mixed in, right?
No. As a kid in Albania, I was very reckless. I loved going outside and just doing a bunch of stupid shit with my friends. I did not like to stay inside. So yeah, I
There's
would.
not no faking it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. Even when I would be sick, sometimes like I'd be mad that I had to stay in bed the whole time and I couldn't go out with my friends and stuff like that.
All right, very fair enough. We got a question about your setup. How much does it cost for
Ooh.
your deal? Like your computer, what kind of PC? Give me some specs.
Let's see. My computer's about $2,000, I'd say. My monitor's probably another 1,000 maybe, and then everything else like miscellaneous stuff. Oh, my mic setup, that's like $500. It's the same setup you have actually, the same mic you have,
Yep.
and then just like random things like keyboards, mice, like webcams, lighting, probably another like 500 give or take. So around 4,000. Like I've spent more on it like over the time because you upgrade parts, you throw some waves, some breaks, things like that. But overall, yeah, right now my setup's probably around $4 or $5,000.
Very nice. There you go. Ivan asking that. What up, Ivan Arg? What do you think about happening in the internet world in the next 10 years? Give me just kind of like a broad prediction, whether it's esports or 10 years from now. It's hard. Is it going to be virtual reality? It's kind of hard to imagine what's going to happen. What's your prediction for the Matrix?
Honestly, I have no idea because the landscape can just change just like that. Literally in an instant, like all that needs to happen is just one big thing. Like back when like Fortnite, like you've heard of Fortnite, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's heard of Fortnite. Like that changed the whole industry. Fortnite absolutely changed like the entire gaming world, the entire internet culture. It made video games cool. Like it made it cool to play video games. And it's like things like that can just happen out of nowhere, and it's really impossible to predict what happens next, honestly. But I think gaming is going to get a lot bigger. I think live streaming and YouTube and stuff like that, like it's going to grow exponentially, and you're just going to be seeing a lot of innovations, I guess, to like keep up with that. I don't know. I've never really thought about like what's going to happen, but yeah.
Yeah, it's 10 years is a long time. I mean, you see, I mean, also like look at COVID, right? Like that's like a 1 in a million or one in a
Yep.
whatever. That
Yep.
once in a lifetime deal. This shit, stuff happens, right? Things
Exactly.
change quickly, and you got to pivot for sure.
You literally never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, yep, that's absolutely right. Which poker format do you like the most? Do you play any PLO, short deck, or you no limit? Hold'em?
I mostly no limit hold'em, but I've dabbled in PLO a lot. Not a lot, but every now and then. I just like it because there's just so much more action. Like it's like hold'em, it can get kind of boring at times. It's just like a fold-a-thon. You're just folding hand after hand after hand. But PLO, it's you play a lot more hands, or at least I do. Probably not the best way to play. I don't really play PLO to make money. I just play for fun,
Right.
and there's just a lot of action, and that's what I love about poker.
What stakes do you like PLO? What do you generally play? Or do you play tournaments?
No, not really tournaments. I try to keep PLO like not anything big because I'm terrible at it, and most of the time I do lose when I play it. So I don't really go above like 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
That's the highest I'll ever play it, and even that, like, it's kind of like whenever I'm feeling wild or if I had like a big win or something.
For sure. And um have you ever played a tournament live? Do you ever go play live poker?
No, I started playing poker right when the pandemic started, so and all the casinos in California are closed, so I haven't really like I haven't gotten a chance to play live, but that's like my number one thing after all this is over. Like I'm really excited to go play live.
That's yeah, live well, I don't know when the next stuff's really going to be. I know they actually WPT they just have like there's that 1.5 billion dollar hotel in South Florida.
Jesus.
With
Oh, I thought you were gonna say $1.5 billion tournament. I was gonna say what?
The Triton's kind of crazy. They had the $1 million
Yeah, the $1 million. Yeah, I watched the highlights of that a while ago.
doing commentary on that, not playing it, but that's a you know,
$1 million.
that's a big one. And but this hotel opened back up, and it looks like there's starting to be a little bit of signs of series going on. So
Okay.
you know, it's hopefully things get back to normal. You have to come out to one of the party poker stops and come check it out and play one of those events. We'll
for
get
sure.
we'll get something set up. I got a feeling we're gonna find something cool for you.
Yeah, I really want to go to like these live events and stuff like that and just start like meeting people in the poker world so that I can just become a more of a part of it, I guess, more involved in it.
I mean, to be fair, the poker community is very welcoming. You know,
Yeah, no, I've noticed that. It's like I've been in a lot of communities. Like as a streamer, you kind of have to have your foot in a lot of communities, and poker has honestly been one of the most welcoming, one of the like friendliest communities I've ever been in. Like everyone, like people want to help you. People aren't like just looking out for themselves kind of thing. I mean, some people are obviously, but there's a lot of good, genuine people.
There is, and there's yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. There's good and there's great. The thing is, like I think in poker, there's either like there's great people, and then there's like really some bad people, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's gambling, and at the end of the day, gambling's
Polarizing.
gonna attract some degenerates. So
Yeah.
you know that comes with territory.
Yes, absolutely. Let me see here. 100 Thieves. What does it mean? Good question there from really what's cracking. I like it. What is that? What's the name behind that mean?
The way Nadeshot, the CEO, explained it is basically in this in this industry, no one's ever gonna really give you anything. You have to kind of like go in and take it yourself, steal it basically. So, like 100 Thieves, we don't wait for someone to give us something. We go in and take it ourselves, steal it ourselves if we have to.
I like it. Does 100 mean like 100%, or is it 100 per streamer? Like, is it capped at 100, or do you know what that means in it? Don't. Scratching your head. Come on, man.
Yeah, I listen. I don't know. I think it does mean. I can't say. I don't know. It was a while ago. When I heard the explanation behind it, I was kind of drunk. So, yeah.
Very, very fair. That's fair. Well, I like it. I like the name. It's catchy. It's good.
Yeah, no, it's a nice name. Like it's like for branding and everything, their logo, all that. It's dope.
Yeah, and tell me about Matthew Hogg, known as Nadeshot. Give me a little bit more on him. Like how much of it is him being the, I guess, CEO, or being a part of the like this program? How much of that is just he was a world-class streamer and he segued, or is he just, like you said, you met him at a bar, he kind of brought, is he just like a wheeler dealer? He's got all the social skills, and is he kind of like a hybrid? Explain what he is, what he does.
He's been in like the entertaining esport industry for well over like I don't know, since he was a kid, like 15 years old or whatever. So now he's like 27. So he knows his way around. He was one of the way I describe him for gaming is he was the ninja of gaming back then. Like he was the one that was like no one was really making like esports content, like Call of Duty content and stuff like that, and being successful at it. And then like he comes around and he starts doing YouTube, he builds up a huge fan base, and that in terms kind of built up the Call of Duty fan base. So the reason Call of Duty is so big is a lot due to him. Not like Call of Duty the game's always been huge, but esports wise, like a lot of it is because of him. So when he retired from Call of Duty and then announced that he was making like an esports team, everyone was like everyone was supportive of it. Like everyone loved him. He's a pioneer in the industry. Like, you know, he's just a good person overall. And so when he announced that, all of his fans basically became 100 Thieves fans. And yeah,
that's cool. So that was actually his name. Like, did he partner and come on with them, or did he make 100
no,
Thieves?
he created it. He like went to the investors, got the funding, all that. Like he was, you know, it's his like born and raised.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Very cool. That's awesome. He does still stream though, some, right? Like,
Yeah. No,
he
he actually streamed a good bit during before the pandemic. He didn't really stream as much just because he was mostly at the compound all day, every day, just handling like, I don't know, doing CEO stuff. But then after the pandemic, he's, you know, there's people aren't really going to the compound anymore because everything's closed. So he's had a lot more free time where he can stream.
Very cool. Very cool.
He's a great streamer.
That's awesome. And what do you believe makes a great streamer? What are some attributes that you think, you know, that makes people stand out from some of the others and makes a great streamer from a good streamer?
One of the biggest things that I can say that I've seen from other big streamers or even from like myself, I don't consider myself a big streamer, but like I'm doing pretty well. One of the biggest things that you need to have to like be a good streamer is to be able to laugh at yourself and to be okay with the fact that people are going to laugh at you and not with you sometimes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're there for entertainment. So if you're worried about looking stupid or, you know, doing or saying something stupid or people like making fun of you, that's always going to be like a huge wall that's going to prevent you from growing a lot. But once you break through that, like, you know, you just make better content because you're not really scared of what people think. You just kind of do what you want to do, what you find funny, what you enjoy, and then you'll find other people that enjoy that as well. But like, for example, if you look at any big streamer, XQC, Courage JD, you know, Nick Merckx, like any of these people, none of them are scared to like laugh at themselves. They know who they are. Like they're okay with people making jokes about them.
Right? They're vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the best. God mode.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm a good streamer. I'm a good player, but I'm gonna get better, and I make mistakes, and you know, let's learn together. That type of attitude, I think that's very powerful.
Because like for me, one of my favorite traits in people is when they can make self-deprecating humor, because that just kind of shows that like they don't think they're all that, you know, like they're people like that tend to be a lot more humble and genuine. So, you know, I enjoy watching streamers like that, and I feel like other people do too.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely powerful. You mentioned some names already. Who do you think are the most entertaining content creators / streamers out there? Is that basically the list of people named?
I'd say XQC, Ludwig.
He's supposed to come on my show too. I talked to him
really?
about it. I met him, or I mean, I didn't meet him. I was just talking with him via Instagram, and I actually, I know he does. He has a very, very, very big stream.
He's grown an insane amount. I found out about him actually in like, I think like 2019, like mid 2019. One of my viewers, he was like, "Oh, you remind me." Okay, not remind me, but like he mentioned something about Ludwig, like, "Oh, you and Ludwig do this the same," or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna check him out." And then, you know, he was just a really good streamer. I've been watching him since then. But yeah. And then I guess Courage JD, I'd say, is up there. I haven't really been watching as much of him since he went to YouTube, but you know, like he's still a very entertaining streamer.
And talk to me about what that means to go to YouTube, because you get partnered on, and now it looks like there's some you know, you can stream on YouTube. Some people do multiple streams. They're not partnered and they stream like simultaneously.
Yeah.
Another thing called Lula or something. Have you heard of that, where you can like stream like 3 or 4 different things, YouTube, Twitch at the same time?
I've heard of a program like that, but I don't know if it was that.
Something like that. But like, anyway, like what are the benefits to you? And is that something more common? Because YouTube's like making a play at getting people. And then there was the network Microsoft did. What was it called? That failed, I think, right? It just
Mixer, yeah.
Yeah, what happened with that? I didn't love that name.
Honestly, it's, you know, like YouTube and Twitch are the only big contenders in streaming right now. Mixer like tried to keep up. They gave Ninja like I think like $50 million to go stream on their platform, and they gave Shroud something around the same. And then, they expected people to like follow these streamers. They were the biggest streamers at the time, and they thought like getting them on would just bring everyone there, and that just didn't happen. And they shut down. But in my opinion, personally, I don't think streaming to multiple sites at the same time is a good idea. Like I don't think streaming to Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, whatever else, like simultaneously, I feel like that hinders your content a little bit. Because if I'm a viewer, or wait, are you doing that right now? Like, are you streaming on Twitch?
No, I just do Twitch only. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So if I'm a viewer and I'm watching a Twitch stream, and then you read out a comment from the YouTube chat and you start having a whole conversation about that comment and everything like that, I have no idea what's going on in that conversation as a Twitch viewer because it's coming from YouTube. So if I feel left out of the conversation, I'm going to leave that stream. And then when you're trying to keep up with all these different chats and all these different things at the same time, you can't really like be yourself and be entertaining. So I don't know. I just like, there's definitely people that have found success doing that, but that's how I personally see it.
Yeah, it seems kind of crazy. I'm looking here. I mean, Ninja, I just searched him. It looks like maybe he's not on that long, but his numbers are, it seemed like probably down a lot from the peak. Do you think was there backlash for him leaving and coming back? Do people really care? What was that perceived as there? I mean, obviously he's got to take that money, right? You get 50 million.
I don't think realistically, if you're mad at Ninja for taking a deal like that, $50 million for 1 year to stream for 1 year. Tell me any sane person that would say no to that deal, right? Like no one. But part of the big reason like why his numbers aren't as high anymore is just because he came up on Fortnite. Like he was like the father of Fortnite, like the Fortnite streamer. And Fortnite's kind of died out. He kind of got bored of it, stopped playing. And before, when he was at his peak, his content, it was catered to like children and stuff like that, where he was just kind of, just doing what he could to like keep kids entertained. And that's not like the kind of streamer that he is or that he enjoys being. Like, because I've been watching Ninja like for as long as I can remember. He was one of the first streamers I watched back in H1Z1, like 2015, 2014, 2016, something like that. So like I know like the kind of streamer he actually is. And now that the Fortnite craze is like dead and he's made all his money, he's just kind of gone back to like the old him. And I personally find him a lot more enjoyable now, but it's not really something that kids will watch. So that's kind of why his numbers are down a little bit. But like still 8,000 viewers right 30 minutes after you start a stream, like that's still insane. Like that's an absurd number.
Right. Exactly. It's all perspective. I'm actually looking at so Castro, who, I chat with. I mean, this is crazy. He's got 100,000 people on right now. I've never seen him have anywhere close to this. And he's actually breaking, looks like sports cards, go figure. Like that's what he's doing, which I didn't know he was even into. But it's pretty insane. To have he's really broken open the FIFA streak. He's, like that's powerful. You got bigger than the Michigan. It's like Michigan football stadium, filling the biggest stadium in the country. 2.5 times, 3 times, a lot of NBA stadiums on a Twitch stream and no overhead. That's the craziest thing, right?
Yeah,
it's employees. There's no staff. There's no park. There's no building expenses. You're just fucking one guy. I mean, it's crazy to see. Are you familiar with Castro?
Yeah, I've met Castro a few times. We're good friends. I wouldn't say good friends, but we're friends. And he's honestly, I've met a lot of streamers and YouTubers since I've been in LA, and Castro is easily one of the like best, kindest, most genuine people I have ever met. Like we met at the Uno tournament that I was telling you about, the $500,000 Uno tournament, and me and him, we were just like drinking together, just having a good time. He won. So here's what happened. At the end of the tournament, it was me and my other friends, like the mob, versus Castro. And first place got 125,000. Second place got 75,000. And we lost to him. We got second place. And he was more hurt about it than we were. Like he was sad that he won and took the win away from us, kind of thing. Because like, you know, he's a big streamer. We aren't, you know, that big. He wanted us to have the money and like the recognition from it because he knows how much it would have helped, kind of thing. So
Right.
I don't know. And then that day he like came over to our house. We hung out, and you know, like that just shows you like how like he's a good person. There's not many people that are like that, and there's definitely not a lot of streamers that are like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I love Cash. I wish nothing but success for him.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that's guy. I'm wondering why. Like, it's strange to me that like because I see his numbers. He usually gets like 20K or something to get 100K
Yeah,
here. Like, is it really the sports card? Like, what's going on? And
I don't know. I didn't really think sports cards, like, he's always been like the main FIFA guy, but like I did not think people cared about sports cards this much. I
oh,
mean, I
bro,
guess like the
you
whole
have no
Pokemon
idea
card.
how wild it is. I'm
Yeah, no,
so
like I know there's people that like are really passionate about it and collect it, but I didn't think like this many people were interested in it, kind of thing.
I mean, I'll just tell, like, I don't want to. I mean, I've spent. I talk a lot about this now because I've gotten really into it. But like, for example, a Jordan 9 rookie card like was 5,500, and
Jesus.
in summer of 2018, I picked up a couple, and they're at like 38,000 now. They just sold the other day, 38
God
grand for a
damn.
9. A 10 was 30K 2 years ago. It went for 240,000 right now. So like
Yeah.
the last 2 years. I mean, and
Got
soccer, I think soccer is like a ridiculously good buy right now because, you know,
Oh wait. Okay, I just saw a comment in your chat that kind of explains it. JRag, he just said there's a big event FIFA right now, Team of the Year. So that's probably why Team of the Year is where they release like the best players on FIFA to like for people to like buy and unlock and stuff. So a lot of people are probably in there for that. I don't know what these like the actual cards have to do with that though. Maybe they did some sort of thing where you can like unlock these people in the game
oh,
through
they
your
just did a Diego Maradona right there.
Oh,
Signed-
okay.
Is that a signed Diego Maradona? Yeah. So I mean, I think
Yeah,
yeah,
that's insane.
that's got to
Jesus.
be a ridiculously.
No, for sure. Look at the chat. They're going crazy.
Um,
Jesus, that's insane.
that's
Good for him.
honestly
Good
that's
for him.
an expensive card.
Yeah.
I know that. I mean, he obviously passed away.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah. Just I'm trying to see that. Wow.
So yeah,
All right.
maybe
Well,
maybe they're
I
doing
just literally. It's funny because I mentioned him earlier, and he's like, you know, the fact that he's that he's it's just crazy that he's actually doing sports cards. I did not see that he was in that. So anyway, sports cards. It's a whole other topic. I'm just telling you, you may want to take a look. I'm telling you, it's the next. I think it's the next deal. You know, it's the next.
I'll definitely check it out. Like, I didn't think it was like that big or that huge. I know like Pokemon cards, people were going crazy for them, like over the last like 3 months. So, I mean, it makes sense that like football cards or soccer cards, whatever you want to call them, would go crazy.
Yeah, it's just I don't even I can go down a rabbit hole on this, so I don't even want to go there because I'll just tell you, take it seriously, check it out. There's actually, my buddy has a place. They have a brick and mortar. Have you heard of that? Coffee Breakers in LA?
No.
They opened a live store. It's like Steve Aoki, Dan Fleshman. They got like a store where they have all the merch. They have
Wait, Dan Fleshman, where have I heard that name?
He does like 100 million CEO thing, like a program, and he's on all over social media. Like you might.
I've probably just seen him somewhere around.
But yeah, he's you know Sean from Jersey Champs, Sean Kelly.
No,
I gotta. You're right in the hub of like, I know so many interesting kind of different little industries out there. We'll have to talk afterward and get you connected with some guys out there.
For sure, I'd love that.
Great area. All right, well let's get back some questions because we've got some good ones here. What's your favorite hand in poker besides aces? Obviously, what's a hand you like to see? It's just like fun. You just love it.
I love. I think, I don't know why, but I just love playing 8-4 suited. That's like my favorite like personal hand.
It's not the year you were born, so any numbers? Is it the numbers you like, or just seems to be well, just a random one?
It just, whenever I play with my friends and we're in one of those moods where we're just like throwing money around and we don't really care, and like whenever I play that hand, it just always wins. That's my saying. Like 8-4 suited always wins because it somehow does. Whenever I play it, I either flop trips or hit some sort of like weird straight or a flush. It just, I don't know what it is. It's the poker gods blessing me, I guess, for having faith in them, but it just always hits. I don't play in like tournaments and stuff though, only with my friends though. But yeah,
that's very interesting. I like Jack 4 too. That was like one of the original hands. I just felt like it's obviously not a great. It's disconnected. Can't make straights. It's like not a very good hand. It just seemed like same thing. I feel like I made full houses, and it would just kind of come, and it would just be a fun hand to hit. So everyone's got their own.
Exactly. Whenever we first started, I believe it was Jack 7 suited. Like that was the hand. Like if we ever got that, that was like we were always playing that hand.
That makes more sense too, because that's like that is got connectivity where you could flop a straight. You know, Jack 4 suited, flop a straight. It's just kind of a random.
I mean, honestly, we weren't even thinking about it like that. It was just like, oh look, Jack 7 suited.
I love it. I love it. So this is a little more serious question. Are you happy with your job and lifestyle? We kind of covered this, but I guess want to hit this one more time because, you know, Rectful, who actually I played in a special streamer event in Vegas at the Aria, did the commentary for, met him, seemed like a very upbeat guy. You know, he has a huge following, committed suicide in this past year.
That was tragic.
Like put some tweets out right before, and it was very heavy, but you've heard like there are, you know, again, the burnout is real. Twitch, there's people on a computer. It can be lonely. You know, my dad even was making some notes and was like, man, like he was like, it just seems like this is like this type of like in general gaming lifestyle can be very lonely and hard. Yeah. What are some I mentioned this earlier, we talked about a bit, but give me a little more like what are there groups for this? Are there are there things that you try to limit to not do? And have you found yourself kind of in a big funk? You said you just took a break for a bit as well, but like, how do you sort of cope with this?
My break mostly has to do with there's just a lot of like big decisions on my mind right now, a lot of big important like things that I got to do that are going to happen very soon, and it's really stressing me out. And I'm a very open and honest person with my stream, but these are the things that like I can't really talk to them about yet. So it just feels uncomfortable for me to go live and not be able to talk with them about this stuff. It feels kind of like I'm lying to them in a way. But yeah, no, the streamer lifestyle, it's a horrible lifestyle. Like honestly, it's not healthy for you. It's not good at all. And that's why you have to have like a real passion and really love streaming to make it work. Because if you're just doing it to make money or because you want fame or whatever, and let's say eventually you do get that money or that fame, now what? Like, what are you streaming for now? Like, you're not going to enjoy yourself doing it because you already achieved your goal with it. And now you're just kind of like going through the motions and trying to, you know, recapture the lightning in the bottle sort of thing. And it's going to wreak havoc on your mental health. But, you know, it's one of those things where you have to sacrifice your mental health for a little bit to get to where you want to be. And then, you know, you just kind of after I don't really know. Like the lifestyle itself, like think about what you do as a streamer. You like sit there for 8 hours every day and live stream. You don't go out, you don't make friends in the real world, you barely see your family or talk to them. And you know, you're very isolated from the real world. And like it's not a problem when you're fully immersed into the internet, but then as soon as you come out of that immersion for a little bit, whether, you know, there's no good games to play or I don't know, something took you out of it for a little bit, like you're going to realize like, holy shit, my life is, you know, pretty sad kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's like tricky. It's very tricky.
Yeah.
It's tricky because it's similar to a lot of things, you know, like actually, so my roommate, one of my best friends for you know over it's going on 15 years, Michael Phelps, the swimmer. I'm sure you know of him. Yeah, I lived with him for 7 years.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but I mean, he's like the poster boy for mental health. Like and he's gone. You know, it's hard. And Olympians, I didn't realize this, but you know, they have some of the most depressed because like they train their whole life 4 years for like one event thing. You know, you don't medal, you don't make it. You do medal, you win, you hit the high gold, and then what? Like now you're back in like it's hard to get back to those things. So it's similar to streaming. You know, you become a ninja, you get a spot 100 Thieves, you become a sponsored streamer, it's all great, but then you're kind of almost like it can feel like a trap because
like
it's
a
like,
bubble.
all right, I made it to this level, I got to do this or I'm going to fall off, or oh my, and it's such a numbers dominated thing. Like same thing with Instagram. I put a tweet out or a thing, how many people like it? Is the engagement there? And it's like kind of like a endorphin, like more, and like I get this thing, and it's tricky. And then I think like ultimately what I found that works is balance. Like I like to come on, do like a couple weeks and do stuff, but then if I, then other areas of your life, I got a wife and kid, I've got
for sure
other responsibilities, and you kind of like balance. I think that's the ultimate word in life is but it's easier said than done. And I think in streaming you got to be really careful, because if you're not regimented, you have a schedule, you have a plan, and you're realistic, you can easily get caught in a complete kind of bizarre
for sure. And what you said about balance, like that's one of the biggest reasons why I don't like living in LA and why I'm looking to move back home with my family, is just because when you move to LA to like pursue a career as a content creator, it's not just a career now, it's your entire life.
Right.
Like I'm living with 3 other streamers. All of my friends, all the people I know, they're all streamers or YouTubers or something in like the entertainment industry, and you can never escape it. Like there's nothing you can do where you can like get into a space where you just don't think about it anymore. So you're just constantly thinking about it, and it's so draining. I personally just want to move back home so I can be with family, so I can have that sort of balance where, I can talk to people that don't really know anything about any of this and just kind of like live a normal life in a sense.
Right. Makes a lot of sense. And I mean, so you tried this house idea with these guys, and when I actually did a stream house with 3 others, Matt Staples, Jamie Staples, Kevin Martin. We went to Montreal, did like a month-long stream house. It was a lot of fun, but it's a bit, it's pretty intense too. And there is kind of nice to have your own space. And again, I think it's cool to try stuff, do different things, see what works, and ultimately do what works for you. So, that's cool, man. I got, like I said, I got a studio built for podcasts at my parents' house in Michigan. And once now the poker part, it looks like it's going to be legal in Michigan, so maybe do some streams. But yeah, it's cool to have kind of options and bounce around and take some breaks. So yeah, man, I think we're really aligned on a lot of stuff. So it's good to hear that you're thinking about it and actively, because listen, I've done it myself. I've done it too. When I got stuff pending, personal things or whatever it is, if something's heavy and weighing on you, it's on your mind, and you're like having to deal with texts and situations. It's not easy to just go and stream and be like you just, because you can't. You're like not there. And it's tricky.
I don't like to like hide my emotions. If I'm feeling bad or if I'm like depressed or whatever, I'm not like, it feels fake to like go on stream and then put on a smile and act like everything's fine, But
exactly.
and honestly, like I feel like that's like one of the things that's holding me back from growing and just, getting bigger and bigger and like doing this more consistently. Like if I was, if I manned up a little and like, all right, fuck that shit, like I'm gonna go on stream and just, be happy and entertain people, like I'd probably be streaming a lot more and I'd be growing a lot more and I'd be making a buttload of money, but I just wouldn't be happy personally. And also, if I'm not happy, then what's the point?
I've been streaming for 5 years, let's call it 4 or 5 years. So I'm 34, a little bit later for kind of like a gamer streamer type deal. But looking at it, to be 22 and to have an 80,000 following and have a deal and stuff at 22 years old, it's pretty cool, man. Because like, you're still young. You don't have kids yet. You don't have you're just at a time in your life where you can really experiment, do stuff. It's kind of hard to go at it if you're in your 30s, or like you're not going to see many 40-year-old streamers just pop up and start streaming. But
no, that's true. But you kind of like you're already in it. Like if you age is okay. It's one thing to just start off fresh when you're like in your 30s. That's probably not the best idea because there's probably a lot, a lot of other things that you can do. But if you're already in it, if you're already in an industry where you're kind of your own boss, which, you are, age doesn't really matter that much. Whether you're 30 or 20 or 40 or whatever, like you can still do it. Like you make money doing other things, whether it's playing poker or whatever you do to make money, like that's the thing that frees you to be able to do it. That's why you don't see a lot of old people. I said old people, but you know what I mean, like older people in it.
Don't say like 35. Don't say that's old.
It's not. It's not. But what do you call it? It's like as a 30-year-old, let's say you just want to start streaming out of nowhere, like all of a sudden, it's going to take you at least 5 years to build up like a small following. Do you really have the time at 30 years old to like do all that to gain for nothing really?
Right.
You can't. You probably have a family. You gotta, put food on the table, stuff like that. But when you're in your position where you already, I don't really know your position that well. So if I'm like speaking out of my
No
ass,
worries. Go for it. Yeah. No, I don't
but
mind.
yeah, like when you're in your position where you kind of already established yourself in an industry already, and you already have some sort of following, it's a lot easier to like do it.
Right. Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I mean, that's the problem though. Like again, when I started 5 years ago, I wasn't married yet. I was in a serious relationship, but I didn't have a son. I didn't have kids. So it's like if you have a family, just like anything
Yeah,
though, or poker, for example, if you like, oh, I want to try poker. When you're at your age, you can do some studying, you can
exactly.
experiment, you can mess around. There's not really, but like if you're 30 or 40 and you have a family and now
Yep.
you're like gonna risk some money and try something new, it's like there's a lot
Can't do
more
that.
at
You
stake.
know,
Yeah, it's
like
just
I could lose $5,000 in poker, and it'll hurt, it'll sting a little bit, but I know like it's not the end of the world kind of thing. But if I had like a wife and 2 kids to feed or something, and I lost $5,000 in one day or 1 month, like that's gonna be devastating.
right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exactly right. What about sports? Do you play any sports?
I used to play soccer until high school,
Mhm.
and but right now, not really. No,
No.
I don't. It's bad, but I don't get any sort of activity in me.
What was the first game you streamed ever that you turned on and played?
H1Z1. I think this was back in like 20. Do you know what H1Z1 is?
Yeah, I remember it.
Okay, yeah, it's the best battle royale game ever to come out, and no one can argue that. If they argue it, they didn't play it. But yeah, occasion I would just me and my friends would just grind it all day, and every once in a while, this wasn't like I didn't like start streaming at this time. Like I would stream once every like 3 or 2 months whenever I felt bored or whatever. My friends wanted me to stream. I just do it for them, get like 2 or 3 of them watching. But when I really started streaming, like actually took it serious, my first game was Fortnite. And at the time, I really did enjoy Fortnite. Like I loved it. It was one of the best games when it came out, and it was fun.
And what like a guy like Ninja that kind of just is I mean you could I guess probably arguably or maybe the most notable streamer or biggest
Yeah.
sport. I mean, it was or is whatever. Got the biggest deal. He was, the face poster boy. Still has massive
hmm
following. What do you believe? Is it right place, right time? Is it that Fortnite was the most popular and he was the best streamer for Fortnite? What made him so popular?
Okay, Fortnite's popularity when Fortnite first came out, it was in beta like for about 2 weeks, and everyone hated it. Fortnite was a joke. Like no streamers were playing it. Nobody was really playing it. My friends and I, we started playing it. We got into it pretty early, and then what do you call it? Ninja. He at the time he was streaming. I think Battlegrounds, or yeah, Battlegrounds, and he was like a. I think he was getting like 2 to 5,000 viewers at the time. I could be wrong. I'm not sure, but he switched. Like he just dropped Battlegrounds and he just played Fortnite full time. And for the first like 2 weeks, his viewership just plummeted. But then after that, when the game started getting more popular and stuff, he was the only streamer that was streaming it. So when everyone wanted to go watch it on Twitch, they were all going to Ninja. There was literally no competition for him. And
Wow.
then when people started seeing like the crazy numbers he was getting like 20, 30K viewers at the time. And keep in mind, back then, like that was an insane amount. That's like the equivalent of like 100K now. So when everyone saw that, that's when everyone started streaming it. And as more people streamed it, more people started watching it. And then Ninja was the number one. So they all kind of funneled into his stream. And
Wow.
then, yeah.
Was that just good? Was that just him being going contrarian, thinking ahead of the curve? Do you think he just believed the game
I,
was good, or like how was he able to just like do that, take the hit, go for it, and gamble on like what he was doing? I mean, it just seems like such a wild play.
Yeah, Ninja is a very smart guy, especially when it comes to video games and like especially when it comes to content creation, how the internet works and how Twitch works. So I think he saw Fortnite as something completely innovative and that no other game had done before, which it was, but most people didn't see that. And then he realized that people would eventually catch on, so he just kind of, got to it early. And plus, I think he genuinely just enjoyed the game. Like, I think he just tried out the game and genuinely enjoyed it.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
What's your favorite streamer?
Right now, it's between XQC or Ludwig. XQC's been playing a lot of Rust, which I personally don't enjoy that much, and Ludwig has a little bit too, but not as much. So I'd probably say Ludwig right now.
What was the other name?
XQC.
XUC.
No, XQC. He's arguably the biggest streamer on Twitch right now.
I'm trying to see XQC. Why is that not up for me? XQ.
Oh, it's XQC OW. Sorry, I forgot that part. Wait, let me.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. Right there. He streams insane hours, like 12, 14 hours a day, every day. Like, he's just a really funny dude. He makes really good content.
Interesting. It is funny, man. Like, I guess it ultimately comes down to the personality and like what you're doing, right? Because it's like a lot of, it doesn't really matter what game you're playing necessarily. You got to obviously have a game that people like or a thing that people like. But I mean, I guess you go to the category just chatting, right? And it's like that's there's just like, people in there. I mean, what is the like in just chatting? Are people literally like? Is it just people talking?
Yeah, like that's honestly what I do for. Like, that's my favorite part of my streams, when I just like sit there, full webcam, and just talk to the chat. Like that's when my that's when my viewership's the highest. That's honestly like the most enjoyable time for me on stream. Like that's, I don't know. It's weird because 4 years ago, if you sat on a stream with a full webcam and no gameplay, you got banned. Like, Twitch literally banned you. It wasn't until like 4 years ago where they finally changed it to where you could, like, you didn't have to have a game for you to stream. So yeah. But yeah, that's really it. People just sit there and just talk to the chat, or they do something like, I don't know, cooking or anything. Like, I've done streams where I've like built my bed frame on stream and stuff like that, like just random stuff. Yeah.
That's interesting. It's fascinating. Like, it just really is. It's a fascinating world, man. Twitch is. I wonder what do you think the value of Twitch is right now? Because it bought for like $1 billion, right?
Yeah, $1 billion like 4 years ago from Amazon. I'd say now, with how much it's grown, probably like 3-4 billion. I think they've had insane growth in the last 4 years, so probably maybe even more, honestly. I don't really know. Huh?
How much do you think it is now?
Like 3-4 billion easily.
Yeah,
I could be way wrong. I don't know.
I think it's probably more than that, but it's
like
it's done well. Like, they got to steal. Amazon absolutely.
No, for sure,
in it. Let's do a couple more. I know we hit 2 hours, man. I appreciate the time.
Oh yeah, that's fine, dude. I love doing these kind of things. Like, this is dope.
And yeah, no, thank you so much. What is we actually, did I ask you this before?
Yeah.
We did it on stream.
Yeah.
I know we asked it. I couldn't remember if it was on stream or off.
Yeah, we did. It was on.
Man, Diego, we already we covered that, so you can scroll back. But from being in drive-through and Wendy's Frosty, play on that, and there you go. What gives you the biggest drive to keep on streaming? What's your big motivation?
I'd say like my community. There's a lot of people that I don't know, this might sound like I have like some sort of hero complex or whatever, but I get a lot of messages from people that say like, oh, your streams, like, they're the only things that have gotten me through this pandemic, and you always cheer me up when you stream, and like, whenever I'm having a bad day, you like make me feel better. And it's like it's stuff like that, where you have people that like rely on you, and you have people that actually care about you, and you don't want to like let those people down. And like, I just enjoy talking to those people. Like, it's fun whenever I'm streaming. It feels like I'm just hanging out with like a good group of friends, and we're all just joking around, having fun, and it's just a good time.
Yeah, I'll try. So I've been debating on something, and I guess I want your opinion. So I have an idea that, so basically, I'm gonna be doing more like seasonal poker streams this year. I want to do more like intense, like 3 weeks to a month straight of streaming. But then when I do go back to the US and when I'm in a place where I can't play party poker and I want to like still stream some stuff, that's like what I was thinking. Like, do I want to start trying to stream FIFA? Do I want to do some other stuff? But then I started thinking, like, I just don't know. Excuse me, I don't know if it would work or not, because like part of me would want to do like a stream where I call in with some top names in the game and they just basically chat about it and go like me review. Cause like I want to personally get better and study at poker myself. I just don't know. Like, I think when people think of Twitch, like in poker, they want to see big buy-ins. They want to see, action. They want to see bad beats. They want to see lucky. They want to see poker. So like, I don't know if I were to like do a consistent show, like 2-3 hours a day, 4 days a week, and I just kind of chat. But I think it would depend a bit on the power of my guests and like what I'm also covering. Like if I started doing sports cards as well, calling people in the thing, kind of like a variety show. Like I just don't know if that would be interesting, where someone would want to come talk to me, hear me talk to some of the game's best, talk about hands. There's like, I don't know if that would actually have if it would be powerful enough where people would want to go there versus watching like real money.
I personally, like, from my experience as a Twitch streamer, I think that would work, because you have to remember that poker attracts all kinds of people. So if someone's following you just because they want to see the big buy-ins, the bad beats, the crazy all-ins and stuff like that, just because like they like watching that, there's definitely other things that they're interested in too. Like you can enjoy FIFA and poker at the same time. So if they see it, because from the I've gotten a few poker viewers now. Like now that I've started streaming poker a little bit, I've noticed a couple of new names that came just from poker. But whenever I'm doing something else, whether it's just chatting or playing a game or whatever, I still see those names in the chat, because there's a lot of poker streamers. But if they're watching you, they're not just watching you because you're playing poker. They're watching you because you're playing poker and they like your personality. So, and that's the big thing.
And I think the big thing is, again, consistency. If like you knew that I have a review show at 1 p.m. Eastern every day, and hey, by the way, like I don't know how many people in poker, like names like Helmuth, Jungle,
for sure.
and Esfandiari are on the show as well, like talking, chatting. We don't have to review poker. Like I could call in, you could call in, we could talk about a hand, or we could just talk a bit. And now I'm like, hey, I'm reviewing a spot that was kind of interesting, and show you a hand in PLO and say, what do you think you would do like here? And we talk about it. That is, I think it would be fun, but I just don't know.
Okay, I don't know why you feel like that won't work, because for the stuff I was saying, it was for like if you wanted to stream like FIFA or video games or whatever. If you're gonna be talking about poker with big names like that, you can bet your ass people are definitely gonna watch that. Like if you get like Helmuth or whoever on there and you start talking, or maybe not even like that big, but if you get someone that knows their poker and you're talking about poker or even other stuff, like that's going to do numbers. That's going to do really well on Twitch.
Right.
At least I think so.
I think so too. Cause I just think like I'm trying to find a way to do more content when I'm in the US and I can't stream on party. And I also I think that I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
I think that'd be a good way for you to balance it, like between playing poker in the, when you can and then not.
Do some review study sessions. I'm gonna put you on my hot list of hey, like I'll text you and say, yo, are you free? Call in, or I might just call you and put you on the spot.
All right. I mean, I'll probably have no idea what to do or say, but I'm super down.
I mean, like I say, we'll look at a PLO hand, and I'll just go to like a random part of my stream or something and be like, hey, like, what do you think here? What would you do? And then I'll see like what stuff like that.
That would be nice, because it would like give people the perspective of like an amateur player, like a beginner player, and then you could like kind of break it down in a more professional way. I think it'd be like actually a really good combination. Because how I would think about it is probably how the majority of your chat would think about it. And then you can hit me with the like, that was stupid as fuck, you played it completely wrong, and then explain why I played it wrong. So I think people would really watch that. I think people would enjoy doing that. I know I would watch that. Like if you did that, I would be in there.
Well, I love to hear that. What would you suggest though? Would I do poker though? If I'm doing like poker coaching strategy and having poker guests, would you go in the poker category, or do you think just chatting would make more sense? Because I'm not actually playing poker really. And that's like I'm reviewing poker.
Okay, I have a weird thing. Whenever I stream poker, I don't like going in the poker category, because you know how it is when you stream poker. You get all these like chat pros, as Lex likes to call them or whatever, that just hound you about every single hand, constantly tell you how you played wrong and how you're stupid and don't know how to play poker and this and that.
Right.
And I just don't want to deal with that. I don't want to like at all. So I just stay in just chatting. But you're actually a poker pro. You know what you're talking about. So I'd recommend going to the poker category where you can actually get like poker viewers.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a tricky one. I've never tried just chatting. I guess that's also probably a really competitive directory.
Yeah, no, it's easily one of the most competitive categories. So unless you like, if you're doing something that has like a specific interest, I definitely like recommend going in that category instead of just chatting.
Interesting. Okay, I'm very interested. All right, let's take a few more here, and then listen. You're going to be coming on the show that we're going to be doing kind of soon here. So
I would love to. Whenever you need me for anything, I'm free pretty much anytime. So
I love it, man. I appreciate that. When you become a sponsored player, when are you going to become a sponsored player? Is that a goal to be a sponsored poker guy?
I would love to get sponsored by like a poker website like that, like how you have Party Poker. I mean, I don't really. It has to be a website that I can play on, like ACR or whatever. But yeah, I would love to like work with them or just anything in the poker industry. Because when it comes to sponsors, I don't like taking sponsorships unless it's something that I actually like or use. So like I don't know, like I don't have any personal sponsors just because there's nothing that interesting that I really like that I would like want to advertise to my viewers right now. But if a poker company came up to me and wanted to work, I'd be so down.
All right. Well, we definitely should talk about that. Again, we'll talk about that afterwards. How did you get into poker for the first time? When did you start playing online poker? Who introduced you?
When I got into poker, it was, I think, back in like 2016, 2015, I found out that they like played poker on TV, and I was just like randomly scrolling channels at night one time, like 3 a.m. or whatever, and I saw that they were in like a poker tourney. It was like a final table of, I don't know, it was some sort of WSOP event, and it was just like old broadcasts of old tournaments and stuff. And I was just like, I was hooked. I loved watching it. And then for 2 or 3 years, I would just like watch them play. I had no idea what was going on. Like I learned the basic rules, like which hands are better than which, but I knew like absolutely nothing. Like a guy would have like 2-7 offsuit, and I'm like, why is he folding that kind of thing? So then after that, when the pandemic hit, my friends and I, we were just like staying in Discord till like 4 a.m. every night because none of us had anything to do. And we were like, hey, we should play on Prominence Poker. Like we should just, play like a $5 tournament or whatever. And then we kind of started. We had no idea what to do. We played every hand. We went all in pretty much most of the time. It was just like very casual poker, like when you first get into poker kind of thing. But then we we got more and more into poker. Like we wanted to get better and stuff like that. And we did get better over time. And then we started watching like YouTube videos on how to get better and stuff like that. And then we started raising the stakes a little bit from like 5-10 cent games to 20, 40, 15, 30 kind of thing. And then it just kind of like scaled from there. And there was this one moment where, see, we would just play like for fun. So I never really cared about winning. Like I never like tried to win. I never like, you know what I mean? Like I never like tried hard. I just played for fun kind of thing. And then there was this one night where my friend was like going through like how much everyone's like earned and how much they've lost and kind of stuff like that. And I think I was down like a couple $100, which at the time that was a lot because like I said, we play like 15-30 cent blinds kind of thing, cash games. So they all started cooking me for that. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, so we're not playing for fun anymore. We're actually playing for money now. And then I started taking it seriously and got better. And then I just kind of like made a shit ton of money off them. That's when I realized like I kind of have like a really good capacity to learn this game. And if I took it a little more serious, I could probably make like a lot more money and play at way higher stakes. And that's kind of what I did. Right now, though, the biggest thing I'm struggling with is I don't know where I'm at, like what skill level I'm at as a poker player. Like I can play like 1-2 cash games and just crush them. I can play 5-10 and still do pretty well. I've done pretty well in it, but I don't really play it that much. And then I can play like tournaments and just bust out in one hand, or make it high up in the cash, or like high in the tournament kind of thing. But I don't really know where I should be, like which tournaments I should be playing, which cash games I should be sticking to, and just like where I'm at compared to other people in general.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But
I completely I get it. It's hard. I'll tell you what, as a professional, it's hard as well, because I see a lot of stuff where I'm not sure too, because there is an element of luck and there's variance, right? You're familiar with that term. So like you could play tournaments for a year and you could have a losing year and be a really good player, or you could not be a good player and you could bank a tournament, run hot, play a few spots, cooler people, and you could think you're hot shit. And it's a bit tricky, right? So there's
it's like, sorry to cut you off, but I just want to say is when I first started playing tournaments, I thought I was good. I thought I was hot shit, and I would do well in the tournaments. Like I'd have like good runs here and there. And then once I actually started studying poker, and I realized like, oh wow, I have no idea what I'm actually doing. Like, and this was last month, like a month or two ago, I realized like, holy shit, I actually need to study and get better. And since I have started studying and gotten a lot better, I've just been running into the worst variance I ever have in poker. And it's like it.
I'll tell you a wild story. So the World Series of Poker, since I was 21, I went every year. Okay. So 34. I had 10 winning years in a row, profitable from playing tournaments. Then I started a YouTube channel in 2017. Like during there, basically, I actually was sponsored by Poker Stars. Signed in 2017. I started a YouTube channel that summer and signed at the end of the year, at the end of the WSOP, like right at the WSOP main event. I had my first losing summer, and then the next summer I had my next losing summer in a row. After 10 years winning, I'm a much better player, much more experienced. But I started looking at it and I was like, what's different? What happened? I'm like, well, I'm doing a YouTube channel. I'm late to pretty much every event. I'm up all night. Like I'm getting the video stuff, coming up with descriptions. So like it was all this extra work, and I was not being as well prepared. I wasn't on time. I wasn't there at the beginning. I wasn't focused. I'm on my video camera in between hands. I was a bit of a mess. And like, you know what, again, though, you have to be realistic in what you're doing. And so it's like, when I'm streaming, I know I'm giving up equity, EV, when I'm streaming, because I'm paying attention to the chat.
Yeah, exactly.
As you're saying, you're doing 7 tables, it's fucking crazy. Like if you play 2 to 4, it's probably a better number, because then you can see the chat, you can kind of watch the games. But I've played 10, 12 on stream, and it's like a chaotic. I'm just like looking at a question. I'm like a crazy person. So it's a fine line, but so I don't know. That's all. But it's also, when I do the YouTube videos, then it's like I said, it's kind of like you're talking about. You're either the gamer that's like a beast, like or you're a content creator. And then you kind of get in like at a point where you're a hybrid, because it's like, all right, but I'm also like able to play the game. But like, so I had to make a choice. I was like, all right, do I want to try to be a world-class player, spend my time and effort on studying and learning? Or do I want to try to break into the content world and realize that there's only so much time and I'm not going to be able to do everything? So it's a fine line. You got to balance what you think is important and do a little everything and be realistic.
For sure. You're absolutely right.
Would you travel overseas to play?
Absolutely. Yeah.
In Albania, I don't think it's legal. Do you know, by playing online poker in Albania? I would imagine it's not, but I don't know.
I feel like it is. The Albania, their laws are, they're not very strict with many things, But yeah, I feel like it is. Actually, no. It is, because I was watching Lex the other day. He was streaming, and there was a guy with like an Albanian like flag logo on his profile thing. So
it's possible if he had a flag as his avatar, it doesn't mean he's from. You saw it actually said Albania. It could just be a flag of like in the thing, and he might be from there, represent it.
Wait, does that not show like is the flag, because everyone had a flag of like where they were from? Does that not show?
Oh, really? In the
yeah.
That's right. Okay, so yeah, that's right. That is right. So yeah, it must be approved. So technically, you could like go, if you were ever in Albania, you could stream on Party Poker somewhere and play. play those games. But just a thought, just
Honestly, like one thing that I was thinking about is if poker becomes like really profitable for me and a huge part of my life or whatever, I would probably, because we have an apartment in Albania that we just kind of like use like a vacation apartment or whatever. And I feel like if like poker became like a really big thing for me and that was like my main thing, I'd probably just like go out there for 3 months at a time, and then I can stream from there and I can play poker from there, and then just whenever I'm bored, I can just come back. I don't know.
Yes, I mean, what's the flight to get to Albania? You fly LA direct, or where do you have to go to London or something? And
you'd have to fly out of New York, and then from New York either to Italy or Germany, and then from one of those two to Albania. It's overall, I think it's like 16 hours.
That's a serious trip.
It's
flying there for a Saturday or Sunday.
Not something just casual. You gotta really make it worth.
What's your first big poker win?
My first big
tournament poker score, or like a cash game that you got hot in.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was playing on Ignition, and Ignition is like has some of the softest games I've ever played. And this was like a while. This is like 4 or 5 months ago. So like, I wasn't like really good or anything like that, but I kind of knew what I was doing. And between poker and blackjack, I went on like an insane streak in a day where I made like $10,000. And that's honestly like the bankroll that I'm still using like to this day to play poker. It was a little degenerate of me because I made 10 grand playing blackjack. I made like $500 playing poker, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go into blackjack with this. And then I turned that into 10 grand, and then I kept going, and I lost like 4 or 5 grand, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with blackjack now. And then I went back into poker, started playing, I think it was 10-20 or 5-10, one of those. And I just went on like an insane streak, made like 4 or 5 grand. So, that's just kind of what I've been on since then.
Very, very cool.
But I'm not going to lie, this last month, I have lost a lot of money.
It happens. Listen, I've been on a downswing as well. It goes like it's very easy to for it to get where it's again results oriented. It's hard to know if you're playing bad or running bad, or maybe you're playing too many tables and not focusing.
No, it's one of those things where it's just honestly like bad variance. Like I don't want to use that as an excuse, because yes, there are some hands that I just play awfully, and I realize like as soon as it happens, like, oh fuck, I should have done this instead. But for most of the time, like I'm playing solid, I'm building up a huge stack. I'm not playing like a nit, like I'm not scared to like put my whole stack in there on a 3-barrel bluff or something like that.
Right.
But I'm building like a huge stack, and then towards the middle of the tournament, or like towards when the late reg ends or whatever, it'll just be like some bullshit where I have like queens or kings, and then I run into like aces or something, and then I just lose like 60% of my stack. Right. And I feel like if I was a better player, that I could probably get away from some of those hands. But that's like my biggest thing right now is I'm not able to get away from stuff like that, and that's just what I gotta get better at. Right. I don't know.
It's kind of a weird. It's a weird thing, man. I'll tell you what, that's like one of the hardest parts in poker is to get honest feedback and understand how you're playing, because it's just so easy to justify a thing. Or because like here's the problem in a tournament. Let's say you get knocked out of a tournament and you have ace king and a guy's got jack, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to just say I got unlucky, but that's not where the tournament was won and lost. You might only have 15 big blinds, and that's the last hand. But what about the hand where you paid off for most of your stack?
Yeah, exactly. Those are the hands I'm talking about. Really hard. Exactly. Yeah. Like if I have say 80 big blinds and I'm one of the chip leaders in the tournament, and then I lose like 30 or 40, that's pretty much like where the tournament ended for me if I don't bring it back. At least that's the way I see it.
Yeah, it's exact. I agree with that. Well, yeah, that's right. What inspired you to stream? You saw people doing it. You were in college. Like, what actually like?
It was honestly, it was one of those things where I've always wanted to stream, just because like it looked like a lot of fun. I mean, like you're playing video games with friends and people are watching. Like that just looked fun. And then, but I didn't have the money for a computer to stream. And then in like 2016, late 2016, early 17, I ran into some money I was finally able to like build a computer. It was a very shitty computer, like could barely handle streaming most games. And you know, like I've every time I played with my friends, like they're always like, dude, Frosty, like you should stream, like you're funny, you have like a good stream personality, this and that. I never really believed them because I was always like, why would anyone like want to watch me play video games? Like I'm terrible at them. I don't really think I'm funny at all. So it's like, what reason would they have? And then, you know, one day I was like, all right, fuck it. Maybe they're right. Maybe I should start streaming. And I just kind of did. And it picked up from there.
That's awesome. It is funny, man, how life works. Right place, right time, or
Yeah.
it's like random butterfly effect
Absolutely.
stuff. You can
It's I owe it all to like luck. Honestly, like I can't really give myself credit for being in the place that I'm at right now. It's mostly due to my friends and just pure luck.
Yeah, it's for sure. All right, let's take well, country's your favorite. Is that is it USA? Is it Albania? What are you going
I'd say Albania. It's it's very cheap there, and there's not a lot of laws, so you can kind of do whatever you want. And yeah,
we got a from Nemesis 7 here, who I think is actually live in the chat right now. That's what genre do you follow the most besides K-pop? Joke, haha. This is something. There's a little controversy with this. What is this about?
Okay, so when my whole thing on Twitter is I like this is gonna sound like weird and maybe psychopathic or whatever, but I like getting certain communities to like turn on me just because it's like funny. It's like my community versus their community. We're like going at war or whatever, and you know, like it's just funny. Like they're insulting me, kind of thing. My viewers are probably insulting them back, and it's just jokes for the most part. But I had this one tweet where I wasn't even trying to do this. This was just supposed to be like a funny tweet that I honestly thought like K-pop fans would find funny. And I tweeted out, this was like when coronavirus was first becoming like a really big thing, like in February or not February, like March or something. I tweeted out like, oh, if BTS got coronavirus, then the stands would find the cure in like one day. And it was supposed to be a joke about how like their fans are very dedicated and they'll do anything for them kind of thing. And they'll even cure coronavirus if they get it. And then a lot of them took it as me wishing coronavirus on them or even making it like a racial thing because they're an Asian group. And at the time, like, you know, like Trump with the whole China virus bullshit. Like, so they thought it was like it had like racial hatred behind it or whatever. It didn't. I just picked them because they're the biggest like pop group in the world right now and they have the most dedicated fans. But yeah, that got into like a whole thing and that's pretty much it, honestly. Like that, like that's really it. Like we just got into like a whole community war. It's kind of a stupid story, honestly.
Yeah, I thought there's this. People know though. Look, the people are out there asking questions about it specifically. Your tweets get a lot of engagement. You feel like how often are you on Twitter? I see here you got a nice score.
Yeah, that was honestly like the best score I've gotten all month. My bad luck finally ended. I feel like I played really really well in that tourney, but yeah, it's I'm pretty much on Twitter all day every day. Like Twitter's my main thing.
It's pretty crazy. They banned Trump, right? Or they temporarily. I remember
That-
seeing odds. It was 50-1 that they would kick him off at the beginning of his presidency. That you could lay 50-1 that they would.
They're really like gambling odds on everything, huh? You can bet just about anything. Bro, back in 2017, like during the summer of 2017, I was such a sports betting degenerate. That's how I made the money to buy a computer and like start streaming and stuff. My friends and I, we'd put money on the NBA, NFL during the Super Bowl. I think I put like over $1,000 on 5 different like prop bets where it was like how long the national anthem would last, the color of the Gatorade, who Tom Brady would think first if he won,
Right.
like random shit like that. And
man, it's crazy. It's a federal level. It's legal at federal level now, and it's everywhere, man. It's
fun, man. It's just, it's a good time with your friends.
It's very 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 cool. All right, well let's and when this tweet here, you wrote "sex is temporary, gaming is forever." This thing got a lot of engagement. What's up with that? What does that mean to you?
Like one of the hardest battles that gamers have to fight is, are they gonna game with the homies, or are they going to spend time with their girlfriends? You know? And like I said, sex, it's temporary. You know, it ends. It all comes to an end. Gaming is forever. Gaming is always there.
Bros before. One of those,
Exactly.
right?
It's literally just a variation of that saying. Yes. Yes.
Bros before. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's yeah, it looks like people were relating with that. A lot of gamers out there.
People love that one, man. I turned it. People were asking me to turn it into like a flag, like a banner, and I did. And so many like frat kids bought that. It's insane.
Yeah, that's I love it, man. That's a great thing. Well, listen, we had a lot of engagement here. This has been a pleasure, and like I said, I'm gonna be hitting you for call-ins at times, so be on standby. I need your
just hit me up.
We're gonna have to upgrade the phone number. You know, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I saw you send me your phone number. I'll send you a text after this so you can have mine.
Awesome. And that did the let's do this though. Let's make sure I got a nice little. I hope this works because this is not my main thing, but there is a retweet thing here. Let me get this tool out here. I don't know if you ever. This is a good thing to do for like giveaways and stuff. So this
What is
the guy? This is let me see. I just copied the link. Let me put it in here. Make sure.
I'm looking for something like this.
Yeah, it's I'll have to get you in touch with the guy. He's really.
Wait,
really,
is this DNP3s?
Yeah. Do you know?
Oh, yeah. I'm cool with him.
Yep. So let's see if this works. I think it is going to work. So this is for $55 ticket. Again, guys, we're going in. Yeah, 55, man. You know, it can start. It can parlay. A guy actually won $111 ticket on my stream, and he won like 19 grand in
Jesus.
Yeah. He messed up. I gotta find where
all it takes is one good run.
I gotta find it. But anyway, so here we go. 55. I'm gonna let you tell me when to roll it. Right now, we're loading it up. So DMP3, man. That guy's really crushed it in that giveaway space.
Yeah, he's been killing it. He has absolutely been killing it. His Twitch is doing insane numbers.
I just got he was actually on my podcast, and I did like a 2K computer giveaway with him. I gave and did that for a nice
Jesus
and over Christmas. Yes, you could actually, it was 2,000 cash or $2,500.
Yeah, bro. I always see his like computer giveaway. Like every time he does a giveaway like that, it just always hits trending, like #1 trending. It's insane.
It's crazy. So yeah, I did that. I think I'm gonna do a PS5 one with him too coming up.
Yeah. That'll be huge. That'll be even bigger than the PC one because you can't even get a PS5.
Yeah, that's exactly. So that should be good. All right, I'm gonna let you tell me when, and we're gonna
all right.
roll it.
I'm gonna give you a countdown. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Boom. I'm sure we're running it. Someone's gonna win a $55 ticket here.
Good luck.
Look at that.
Goody Poker. That name stuck out to me when I saw all the people that retweeted.
Really?
Let's go.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
that was like the first name my eyes like landed on. Let's go.
I love it, man. They're beautiful. He's got the blueberries, good energy. Speaking of energy and stuff, do you do meditation? Do you have a routine? Do you go to the gym? Do you have like a daily ritual, or do you just let it ride?
I don't. I worked out. I need to start working out again, but I started working out like 2 months ago, stopped in December, and I need to get back into it. But yeah, I don't really do any of that meditating and stuff like that. I probably should though. It probably helped me out a lot.
It can't hurt, right? It's one of those things. We could all do better. But listen, man, this has been a true treat. I feel like I've learned about gaming, 100 Thieves. I've learned a lot of stuff, and really, I'm glad that you came on. I'm also glad you play poker, and it looks like you're diving more into those streets. So yeah, man, I appreciate it, and let's stay connected, and hope to have you on for some
for sure.
Use Discord.
Thank you. Like what?
Do you use Discord?
Yeah, I do. I'll DM it to you after.
Yeah, that's a good way to do like call-ins while
for sure
and stuff. So,
but yeah, like thank you so much for having me on this. It was like I had a really good time. Like I don't really talk to many people about any of this stuff, so like it was nice to talk about poker and Twitch and everything like that. And if you ever need me for anything, like I said, just hit me up, and I'd be more than happy to do it.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much. So I hope I don't pronounce it wrong, but Aaron Puka.
Yeah, no, you pronounced it.
Is that right?
Yeah, people always butcher it, but you actually said it good.
All right, cool. So yeah, known as Froste online, guys. Give him a follow. YouTube, Twitch, all the good stuff. Actually, the one thing we on the way out here, I didn't show your YouTube, and I see you do have a channel. How much do you do your own videos? Are they clips? Like, what is this?
Most of them are Twitch clips. There's a couple of vlogs in there, I guess, but honestly, I'm not like really that big on YouTube. I just kind of, I don't know. Whenever there's something to upload, I upload. I don't really like make content specifically for YouTube. That's fine.
For sure. All right. Well, give him a follow on Twitch, Instagram, and it's fair to say Twitter's your main. That's what
Yeah,
you do the
yeah,
most.
for sure.
You're very active on. So again, thank you so much, man. Have a great day, and we'll be talking some poker and life coming up on this this show. I guess I don't know. So I got ideas. Let's see if it goes through. If it does very well, we'll be able to look back. Because honestly, I'm going back and forth on whether I think it's going to be a success. But either way, it's like
I personally think it will. As a Twitch streamer, that's my opinion. But I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm excited to like be a small part of it. So.
Awesome.
Thank you again.
I appreciate it. All right, guys. So again, that's number 115 in the books, and Frosty's gonna ride off, and we'll see him soon. And we'll have some more podcasts scheduled. Should be doing 2 or 3 a week over the next few months. So I'm excited about that. We're gonna be really growing that, and really good time there with Aaron Puka coming in, man. Frosty dropping knowledge, 100 Thieves, the mob as well. He's a part of for gaming and knows his stuff. So I really learned a lot, and I appreciate you guys coming in. And I am actually planning to stream later today. I need a little food, a little break. There's a $2,600 buy-in, 8 million guaranteed. And also I got to run by an idea. I want you guys to let me know what you think about this kind of review show, studying, kind of plugging hands and do some stuff where I think you guys will really like it. And we'll have some guests involved. And then that's going to start next week, I believe, for you as well. So thank you so much. Cheers. And hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys soon.